Okay, guys, take two. Let's see if this works because we have just set up the most crazy setup at work here. It's fairly different, and we're back. Yeah, we're back. Welcome back, guys. At least there was a huge audience. At least this didn't crash like right after a raid. And I want to be clear. This could actually crash. It's like new computer, new eGPU, new like entire environment. Like, and well, not new computer, still the same laptop, but yeah, it could be the case that this whole thing goes to hell pretty quick. Could go to hell in a handbasket. We're about to see what happens. But yeah, let me try and show you what's going on here. So I'm pretty sure here, if I'll try and connect my phone that you can get a look. Hello, Julo. Welcome. Yeah, we're having some technical problems and just sorting through them now. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Still getting set up with a new setup, so you might notice the camera's in a different location, and that's on account of the new computer that I've got. Well, not the new computer. I keep saying that, but it's really not that. It's a new kind of like a bunch of multi monitors. Really, that's the big thing. Is my laptop is connected to this eGPU, and yeah, I'm gonna show you guys in a minute. I'll show you what's up when I. Let's see, I'm going to aim to get this phone webcam going, which I think I'll be able to do here. So I think I can go through the Galaxy Fold. It's a Razer eGPU Sasquatch, Sam Squatch. It's pretty cool. It's this, so here we go. Let me see if that connects. So when that connects, I'm going to give you a bit of a tour. Because yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's a Razer eGPU. It's the ThinkPad laptop, like my old mouse and keyboard. The same. It's just way more desk space, and then just this awesome wall of monitors here. As soon as this gets connected, if it would oblige us. Let's see. So there's this. I'm trying to also use this like link to Windows thing for phones. Which, yeah, if this works, it'll be cool, because I had it going just a moment ago, but looks like it's struggling to connect now. You know, the more fancy you get with these things, the more complicated they are. How? Oh, no, Goldie, just you wait. It's just like I can monitors all like freaking everywhere. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's doing pretty cool. It's doing a pretty cool job here. If it holds, if it doesn't hold, like we're asking a lot of this, it's like a 960. It's like an old graphics card I had lying around, but a whole bunch of like video outputs. So the idea was like, let's get it going with, still not. So we're trying to use this phone link thing. So hold on, let's disconnect, try it again. Phone link webcam, properties, select the webcam again, reactivate it, see if we can get it to go. Try again. Nah, it's not liking it, guys, which is unfortunate because it would have been really cool to show you this. I even did all this setup to get it going so that I could show you guys what it was, but the eGPUs have their own power supplies and connect via Thunderbolt. Yes, I actually ran to get a Thunderbolt cable today. Okay, I'll get it. You know what? Actually, we can get creative here. Let's get creative with this. If I do this, yeah, I have an idea. We're going to just do like a Google Calendar invite, and then jump in a Google Calendar call, because why not? That'll do it, right? And then we'll generate a meeting link. Meeting, okay, cool, that's an idea. Add video conferencing. If I join via this, and then I also join via my phone, then I'll just share my browser window, and then that'll do it, right? That's smart. So not now. Join, and then hold up. This will work. And I think Fast said she was going to raid again, which I'm kind of wanting to get this going before then, because it'd be cool if that kind of just worked, right? All right, here we go. Join. All right, yes. Now, if we remove the volume. Okay, hold on. So, now phone webcam, new browser source. No, we want a window. Really getting creative here. That works. Okay, cool. Can you all see? So there we go. There's the monitor setup right now. Yeah. All right, cool. A little bit pixelated, a little bit crap, but you get the idea. Pretty sure. And hopefully we get that before it crashes again. So that's what we're working with here, guys. The new rig. It's sunset. I need two more monitors. So, I don't know if you guys can hear me in the room here. I'm just gonna have to shout at the microphone. Move the microphone close. We've got the ThinkPad laptop here, and it connects through to this eGPU. So this here, the Razer eGPU, with a million different cables. But that's the Razer eGPU here. And we've got our rubber duck in case of the need for debugging. Yes. To help us with our problems. But that's what I'm working with now. So it's all fairly new setup. What do y'all think? Is that a decent setup or what, huh? Isn't that not a streamer rig? Are we working with are we streamers now, guys? Are we actually streaming? It's a decent setup. Just decent. Come on, Goldie. That's sick. That's a sick setup. That's a great setup, man. I'm stoked. 100% streamer rig. Yes, Jacob gets the idea. He's with me. He likes it. It's yeah, I think it's really cool. I was stoked to get that all going. Nah, being sarcastic. Of course, Goldie, of course. But yeah, okay, so quick question. Are you guys hearing any desktop audio? Million times better than your setup, Julo? Oh, I doubt that. It's decent, but it needs better wire management. Yeah, I 100% agree, Lucario. I really need to get that better. At the moment, it was like literally threw it together with... There's too much floating hardware. We had like really tough time where I had to downsize the company, and like when you do that, you wind up with more computers than you really need. So lots of extra computers around the office, including lots of extra monitors. And so yeah, I've kind of put them to use now with this desktop setup. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I've got the webcam like right in the middle of the 4 monitors, so there's monitors like all here, and that means if you guys like chat with me, or I get a follow, or I get a sub or something, I'm not suddenly like distracted and having to change tabs and whatever. I have all these monitors around. I may as well put them to use. I figure, no point having all this cool stuff and not getting the most out of it. So yeah, it's your desk wires look clean as fuck. And under the desk wires, the actual tower. Yeah, I'm with you. I'd like to do some really sick cable management so that when you sit back in this seat, it winds up a little bit better than that. But yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can get this portable. If I can get this working again. If I activate and then reactivate, it should do the thing. Oh On your mobile device, turn on link to Windows. Yeah, good point, good point. Maybe that's what was going wrong before. So, link to Windows. It is on, guys. It's lying. It's lying to us. It's lying. Lies. Oh, well. Fine. Yeah, no, we're not going to faff around with that. We had it working before the computer decided to die. And let's just hope that it holds, because it's a whole new setup. I got a blue screen of death just before. So that could be what we wind up doing again. Cable management is not real. Attack, my dude. I don't know, like, if you guys, like, who's fastest playing with, you know, like, what's his name? Fastest playing Diablo with him right now. That dude's like cable management expert. Voodoo, yeah. Voodoo's like a networking expert. And like, yeah, that dude, he'll tell you how real cable management is. By the way, am I promoting merch today? Good question, Hantak. Might I inquire, what kind of merch would you be referring to? Oh, it's because I'm wearing the shirt. Yeah, I have to apologize for that. This isn't merch. This is just me. This is just me coming into a stream at the end of a long work day. It's been a really, really, really big day today. But yeah, I mean, if anybody wants some actuator merch, you can't get it. It's exclusive. This ain't even for sale. But I am repping the brand, I guess, which is not a bad thing. I mean, already we're getting some work out of this streaming stuff. Like, some people from the stream have reached out and been like, yo, we need some software made. And I'm like, we make software? You've seen me make software. You know I can do it. And also, when I work on the clock, I'm not distracted by chat all the time. So there's a big difference there, right? Big difference there. I got one like that myself. You got one like what? You got a setup like this? You got a shirt like this? Hey, Soapy Streamer, it's going pretty good, man. It's going good. How are you doing? You got a. Oh, you mean like with the collared blazer one with the embroidered logo? Yeah. You got it. It's obligatory when you have a company. You got to rep the brand. It's obligatory that you wear the blazer, the polo. Is it a polo? You're not a blazer. It's a polo. So we got to have buff coding skills and a good resume and an empty position at actuator to get that merch. Yes, correct, Hantak. Correct. Very exclusive. I mean, not really though. There's actually there's a drawer back there full of like branded shirts. Here's other shirts just in a pile from a different customer. So I mean, branding's good, but I didn't really mean to. In fact, I could change into a different shirt here. Shall I quickly do that? Off camera, of course. This isn't that kind of stream, guys. This isn't that kind of stream. But I could quickly step out of this and get into a different shirt. And then, I wouldn't be shirt giveaway when Goldie. Why would you even want? You know what? We do actually have on-point shirts that we could give away, and those are super exclusive. Those were just for the staff when we went to PAX, and there's a few floating around. There's a few extra ones, but I don't know who would actually want them. I don't know who would actually want those. But yeah, even better. Okay, hold on. While we're here, because we can't do this when we're back in Melbourne. We're back in Melbourne soon, guys. We'll be back in Melbourne in no time. But hold up. Oh. Got purple actuator shirts. We've got the, but I actually can't find our on-point ones. Oh, yes! They exist still. The on-point OG edition. Even with the, still to be announced, still to be done PlayStation thing. We've got the shirts, guys. I think there's only one left. This is, the last shirt, so... But yeah, turns out there is some merch after all, right? There's some merch after all. Yeah. Okay, so that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So Lucario diehard fan, very nice. Yeah, there's not a lot of those on point shirts around, mostly because the brand has since changed too. That's the other thing. There's There's a completely different brand for the game now. If you compare that shirt to the current brand, it's like apples and oranges, man. They're like, it's less like friendly and a little bit more serious, the newer brand. But any spare guns? Well, there is the. I mean, that's one thing I should show. We have a VR headset Christmas tree. It's actually just a hat rack with a lot of VR headsets sitting on them. But yeah, these are like, we haven't done another run of these. There's still, actually also, there's this spare one. But that said, I wouldn't consider that to be spare. Those are like the last two ones that haven't been given out. I know Fast has one. I think Creator has one. Other than that, like, they're all in the hands of just like some content creators that we wanted to play the game and some stuff like that. So yeah. So there are still some guns, but there are not many, man. Hey, Voodoo! How you doing, man? Thank you for the raid with the 10 viewers. Really appreciate it, man. How you doing? We were just kind of doing a bit of show and tell here in the office. Yeah, thanks for coming by. This means that Fast is probably not going to be far behind. How am I doing? I'm doing good, man. Hey, I got your thing, and we're going to reply to that. It's just today's been chaos. I haven't even had a chance to like to stop and breathe, really. It's been go the entire day. Yeah, cable management guy is here. And Fass coming in with the 211 streamers. Oh my gosh. Hey Voodoo, how you doing? It's a Fass raid. Another raid. This is becoming a habit now, guys. Fass is so good supporting the stream like every freaking time. She's like, Seb, I'm gonna stream. You should do your stream. Get ready. I'll raid you. And here you all are. Welcome. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome. Am I allowed to be a raider if you're already here? We'll make an exception. We'll make an exception, Sam Squatch. You can be a raider anyway. Semtex, you're here. How you doing? Goldie, managing to be a raider, even though he's the first one in the chat. Every time. Every damn stream, except for the last one where you missed out by like this much. Vegas got in like that much sooner than you, but it was just like hair's breadth, man. It was so freaking close. It was so close. And we didn't even finish getting ready, did we? We're still in our, like, didn't even manage to do the actuator shirt. The talk went really well. I actually got, I see that I got an email with a recording from today's talk. So, I don't know. Should we watch it on stream, Fast? You were suggesting maybe we do that. And, you know, I think we actually could if this email is correct. And a follow. Thank you from Martha Donna. Thank you very much for the follow, man. Super appreciate that. It's so great. Like, every time I do one of these streams, Fast rates me and I get more follows from it. I even got a couple of follows from the lecture today, which was insane. So cool that happened. What do you think, Fast? The talk I think went pretty good. And yeah, I could look at it on the stream and we can see how it goes. We can review it and see if it came out good at all. Should I do that, or is everybody gonna get bored with a talk? We've just now finished, by the way, we just finished doing a tour of the office and the new office setup. I think that's another very cool thing which is worth checking out, actually. Fast, I'll show you. I'll show you my new stream. Are you hanging around for a minute? Can I show you my cool setup, my sweet rig? Let me get that going for a moment. Just for a moment. It won't take long. You can see what I'm working with now. So next time I'm back in Melbourne, it's gonna be sick. I'm gonna be able to very quickly just jump into streaming again without having to worry. And also my work's probably gonna be more productive. Let me do this. Okay, hold up. Rejoin. Okay, phone time. Join. And let's go. No. Hold on. There we go. Okay, hold up. Here it is. Hold on, we're going to Let's see. There we go. So here's the setup, guys. Yeah. That's the rig. That's the rig. So here's that VR thing I was talking about with all the headsets. And yeah, we were just doing a bit of a tour of the office. So this is pretty good. Pretty cool place to do our our stream now. We've got decent lights. We've got our eGPU so that we can run all these monitors. We've got extra lights, and then just the normal office. So that's the rest of the office, guys.
I'll go have a quick look. On point. Got Sky Kelpie. Got the cool wall plants going on.
So this is where we're at. And now the sick streamer setup. What do y'all think, huh? Is that not a cool place to be doing our stream from now on? It's the Twitch Stream Control Center. Absolutely. Math, you think it looks sick? I agree with you, dude. I agree. I think it looks so cool. It's really gonna be fun. It's a lot of monitors. It's like, this is what I'm competing with, Fast. When I go back to, this is what I need back in Melbourne. I need a sick wall of monitors so that I can feel at home again. Because right now it's like, who needs to tab? What's tabbing? Just all of the windows up all of the time, and then tabbing becomes a thing of the past, right? How cool is that? Easy peasy. It's a lot of monitors. It is. Look at the pixels. I'm sorry. The quality is probably really bad because it's coming through my phone like that. I had like a screen share thing going with the phone before, but then the computer died. And heads up, guys, if this stream dies abruptly ahead of time, I'm really sorry. That's just probably going to happen with this new setup until I figure it out. It might just be like this poor little 960. It's just like a GeForce 960. Really old graphics card churning out to all 4 monitors. So like, please hold out, little graphics card. You're killing it. You're killing it. I'm liking what it's doing. It's doing a really good job. So happy with it, getting what I am out of it. So that's awesome. That's awesome. But what a nightmare for people with ADHD. Just, you mean distracted by the million windows all over the place? Goldie, look, you're not wrong. I'm like pretty thrifty when it comes to business. I try and save money wherever I can because, every dollar that I can save, I can put into making a game. And so that's really what I live for, man. So I don't need subbies. What I need is like game support when we get to making a game together. That's that'll be what we need. But yeah, and look, wham! Because I have Spotify up there in its own window, I can instantly go to it and just freaking mute it without needing to worry about it. But yeah, okay. What do you think, guys? I did a talk today. I was invited to a university to go give a speech to some programming students and computer game students from the games degree there, and they wanted me to like talk about things I'd learned along the way running companies and making games. And so Fast was like, maybe if it goes well, I was like, should I stream it? She's like, how about just see if you can get a recording of it and then maybe you can watch it on stream. That might be interesting. What do you think? Should we do that? Should we have a look, see if it's if it's decent? I don't even know if it's, okay, hold up. Yeah, we can do this, I think.
All right, everyone. So I have the pleasure of introducing our wonderful guest lecturer today. Joining us is Sebastian Fier. He is an extremely talented game developer and the founder of local game studio Actuator Digital. But beyond that, Seb, I'll let you take it away.
Is that working, guys?
Thank you, Madison.
And then the other thing is the slides too. Hold on. Let's see. I noticed there's slides too. Okay.
Loud and clear. Excellent.
Oh man.
Madison thought it'd be nice to come along because I was once in your seats. Not only but I came through the same degree. And
Are we hearing this well? Is this coming through well?
literally like changed the path of my life. That's not an exaggeration. So, I mean, I've gone through a long journey from where you're sitting now to where I am today as the director of a game studio.
That's why the T, yeah. Because I went to a university. It needs to be way louder. We can do that. We can do that. Oh, can we do that?
Why doing what you're doing now, the degree that you're in now, can really be such an influential thing
How's
in your
this?
life if you
Better?
take it in the right direction.
Volume up, hand tack?
This is my indie game studio DIY guide in case you want to do that.
Yes, better?
And I'm going to share some of the lessons
Excellent.
I've learned from
Great.
Actuator's journey. So I'll talk a bit about that journey. I'm also going to give some practical tips for operating a small game studio. I'll talk about
man.
some of my own philosophies.
The
making
slides are
games
like
and in
4
running companies, if
gigabytes.
anybody's
Why did they
interested
need
in
to
doing that.
do the slides in super high definition?
I'm going to talk through some of the lessons I consider really important that I've learned along the way.
Okay, hold on.
And yeah, at the end, I hope to get some questions from you guys. I hope to be
We can
able to
just
shed
open
any
the
light on
slides
things that
ourselves
you'd like
because
to,
we have
you'd
them.
like to know more about. It's kind of hard to explain Actuator's journey without explaining a bit of my own. And as I mentioned, I started here at QUT, like all of you, and you know, I always loved computers. I always loved computer games. I was a bit of a nerd. You know, back in my day, there weren't laptops. I used to cart my CRT monitor and my desktop to my friend's place, and we'd play games in LAN every weekend. You know, when I was younger, I had a broad range of interests outside of computer games as well, martial arts, philosophy. But yeah, I had an interest in
What do you think,
digital
guys?
art,
Should we watch
but
it?
I didn't actually
Watch the
code
rest?
until I found myself in the games degree here at QUT. So yeah, I
Yes?
appreciated digital
All right,
art.
cool.
I knew I liked
We're gonna do
computer
it.
games.
Sam
was really
Squatch,
good
I
at
used to do
industrial
Kung
design,
Fu.
graphic design.
I still
thought,
actually
I love
teach Kung
games,
Fu
why not
when I
try and
get
do
some
that?
free time to do so.
So yeah, I enrolled
was
for the
Tong
subject,
Long,
and at
Mantis
the time,
style.
we had something called
Yes, it's much more
we had
entertaining
X
than
at the
you.
time. To show how long
Nice.
ago this was, it
Nice.
was the first time QUT had ever
You
run
study
a
Wing
games
Chun,
degree.
that's
When I
sick.
applied
They're
for
both
it,
like
there was
Kaka
no
styles of Kung
qualifying
Fu.
mark
That's awesome.
to enter into the degree. They needed to see what students joined before they could establish what that mark was. So this was when QUT was for the first time
hold
trying
on.
to do games and trying to teach games. The level of games education that you guys get, especially with the influence of people like Cody and Madison shaping the degree, is really different now from the degree that I had. And the same is true probably for the programming course that you're going through. So I went through with an animation major in the interactive entertainment degree. I wanted
Alright,
to
cool.
do
We can work with
3D
that.
art, I wanted to do animation. But yeah, the course changed when I went through programming. So the capstone project inside of that games degree, I don't know if you have any game students here, but that changed the course of my life in that I had learned how to
His
do art,
name is
I'd learned how to
Beans
do
Brew
animation,
Beans.
I'd been able to
True.
build things and even get them into Engine. But the
My
capstone
teacher
project was
studied
the
on
first
Ip
time that I
Chung.
learned that,
Damn, that's
okay,
proper lineage,
you
man.
actually can't make a game without being able to write code. This was a really interesting time. For indie game development, it had really shifted. Unity 3.0, like the first public release of Unity, had just been put out. And so, yeah, for the first time, you didn't need a really expensive, you know, $50,000 license to use Unreal Engine. Things were becoming a lot more accessible. And so that was the landscape at the games degree that I found myself in. But I found myself
Finding it
unable
hard
to
to show
actually
you guys
create
all
anything
this stuff
without
at the
knowing
same
how to
time.
do code. So I was lucky
ideas.
enough to get in a really dedicated team for the capstone project. In fact, the entire team would travel down from Brisbane to my house on the Gold Coast every week in order to work on the game together. And we put a lot of heart and soul into that game. It was a game called On Point. Sorry, not On Point. At this point, it was, well, these slides aren't keeping up. That's because that's the, so yeah, we created Slipstream, and that was the capstone project. You can see in that photo, actually, that's Cody on the left side of screen. So this degree, actually, these guys were some of the foundational students that went through it at the same time. And so this helps me drive home that really pay attention and give a lot,
Okay,
like,
hold
don't
on. Sorry,
underestimate
guys.
the value of the relationships that you're building with the students that you have in your cohort now, especially if you find yourself in something like the capstone project. Those relationships have really, they've been instrumental. And as I tell a bit of the story of the studio, you'll see how important those relationships were. But yeah, I was really proud of the game that we ended up making, but as we exited the industry, and this was true for Madison and Cody as well,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm making this
we
harder to
had
watch than it needs to be.
the global financial crisis happen. And suddenly all the studios that were propped up by American money, so I'm talking about like Pandemic,
Nerds!
Prone,
Yeah,
THQ,
totally.
Oren, Creative Assembly.
Unity 3 was actually great.
There was a Sega studio. A huge number of these closed their doors at the same time as I exited the degree and entered the industry. The same thing is actually happening now in the industry as well. We're actually in this time of contraction where there's a lot of stress and strain on Australian game studios, especially those large AAA and AA studios. So more and more, a studio whose shape is like actuators makes more sense. Indie studios are becoming more viable, and that's what happened in the wake of the global financial crisis, is suddenly there was a rise of small studios. I was lucky enough to know a family friend who had such a studio. With
Fast
this
worked
games
here with me,
project,
guys.
with the Capstone project, I was able to use that as a portfolio piece and take that in and say, look, I can make a game. I'd like to work at your studio. And I was lucky enough to get put on a team there where they recognized the iPhone was going to be something that was going to be game-changing, literally game-changing. And so, yeah,
we got there.
with 24 credit points left in my degree, I didn't actually finish it, and I need to come back to Cody to get those last.
You can
credit
relate. Your
points so I can
company
have a
is
piece of
also
paper.
built with a,
but I never
with a group
finished.
of
I
all
went to jump
students
straight
I
into
went to
games,
uni with. Yeah, hell yeah.
industry
That's a good
when
way
I
to
saw the
be,
chance to
isn't
do
it?
so. And I still have no skills and qualifications, but I took the job when it was offered. And you know, the thing that I learned from that is your degree doesn't matter, and that's still true today. If somebody comes to me with a portfolio, I don't care what your marks were, I don't care what your subjects were, I care what you built. And that Capstone project was something tangible that I could show to somebody and say, I made something. And that counts for more than anything. So when you build things, focus on that as much as you focus on your subjects and marks. While working at the Binary Mill, things really changed for me. That studio was incredible in terms of its talent density. It was a really small team, and we shipped big things on tiny budgets. We were given really clear responsibilities, and we were completely protected from the business and from the concerns
Telling
of, like,
college
operating
students,
business,
I don't
which
care
would have been
about
really
your
difficult given
grades.
the climate of the
Yeah, I mean, it's totally
so
true,
I,
man. It might be different in a different
was
country,
put on
but
a
here
team
in
where we were
Australia,
encouraged
like,
to do
yeah,
really amazing things.
I don't care. I care what you can make.
I was an inexperienced,
Who cares what you're able to do on a
but I was
test?
given a huge amount of freedom to implement the features I was tasked with doing in the way that I wanted to do it. I was given very little control, a huge
So
amount
you're
of freedom,
saying
but
one can just
corresponding
barely pass
responsibility.
as long as they have a good
And the whole
portfolio?
team was
Yeah, I
responsible
don't
for
care.
doing a
You
lot
can
of
have
work
terrible
that
grades
was on
if
the
you have
edge of what they were
amazing
capable of.
project. If you can
This is
make
where the
things
greatest
like
learning
this,
tends
like
to
what,
happen.
you know,
and if you can
you can
find
make
yourself
this
a
stuff,
place to embed
absolutely.
within some
I'll
team
hire a
that's
person
really,
like
really
that, even if
talented,
their grades
with
suck.
a lot of experience and pushes and challenges you, I would say absolutely take the chance to do so. If you can find a place like this,
Then
that
what do they
can
do in
really,
college?
you can
I don't
accelerate
know,
your
like
learning
learning
in
how
a
to
really
learn,
meaningful
being
way.
challenged, given
And
assignments.
so in
Showing
hindsight,
that they can show
even
up
though
for work
a
consistently
studio
and then work hard.
The Binary Mill struggling in
but
the
a
climate of
portfolio
games
really
at the
shows that
time,
ultimately.
it didn't pay very well, but I wouldn't give that opportunity up. for
College
anything. It
invited
really
you to
taught
say
a lot,
marks are a
to be a
scam.
part of that.
Yep.
So yeah, I also, while there, learned what a great game studio looked like. I found a manager in Ingmar Luck, who I still consider a mentor to this day. I was, 10
Good
years
points, yeah.
later,
Well,
that team
it's true,
is
Scrub.
still
Look at,
building
like,
games and
you
still
know,
shipping games.
there's, like, Bill Gates
The day
and-
that studio
and
closes will be
Steve
a
Jobs,
tragedy,
like,
but I can't
those
believe
guys
they've
bailed
made it
out
as
of
long
uni,
and,
like,
have gone as
university
far as
early.
they have.
And it's like, it's true.
But yeah,
Who cares if you can make?
although
like,
my job satisfaction
if
was
your grades are
incredibly
good, if
high,
you make
ultimately
cool
there was
things,
that
that's what
situation
matters.
at the studio where that connection between
Oh,
effort
man,
and reward in
hand tag,
terms
that's
of money
super
and tangible
cool.
things, it didn't.
You wrote a malware
it didn't
framework
add
for
up,
your uni
and,
project.
they moved really fast, but they
You
also
got
didn't
scolded.
engineer in a
Oh
disciplined
man, you
way
should be
that I really
praised for being
found
able to
I
do
liked
that.
to
As
work
long
in.
as you play
And
like.
so when
you
the
know,
chance came
if
up,
you're a white hat, if you're
I,
on blue team, not red team, if you're doing
found
good
it was
things
actually
with it.
comparatively easy to use the software engineering skills along with. Oh, sorry, we've missed a slide here because I'm out of
Guys,
sync.
I had like my slides on
yeah,
one
to
computer
use the software
and
engineering
then
skills that we
my,
use to create computer games
talking notes
in order
on a
to create
different
other
screen.
things.
I was like
So in this
pressing
case, it was
spacebar, like
construction
Donkey
software.
Konging the keyboard.
And so, friends of mine were starting to work at big organizations. They were recognizing the difficulty of the things that we were building at the Binary Mill. I started to contract to these companies, making small bits of software that enhanced
Yeah, math is
productivity, made the lives easier of the people doing the jobs.
College is a great way to get help from academics. It teaches you how to learn. That's the most valuable thing I get from it. It's not like
tools for
it's not the
industry.
information you get because in tech
And
that's out of
so
date. Like,
at
the
a
next
point,
day.
we were delivering so much value that one of the companies we were contracting for decided to do an
Thanks, Gorky
acqui-hire,
Forky. That's
which
really
is
nice,
kind of
man.
like where
I mean,
they
you can just come
hire
along
you
and watch the
absorb
streams. I'll
entire
teach you.
company, and the work they would pay you to do the work, they pay you as a salary instead.
Hackers
And
of
so
the immune system is that
the
100%.
rate of pay that I
So
found
right,
inside of
Scrub.
construction was very different from computer games, and it was enough to draw me across. And so it did also teach a very
CTF's fun
valuable
too,
lesson.
if you've ever
no
done
matter
some pen
how
testing.
high your job satisfaction is, ultimately, if you're going to run a team and retain exceptional people, the amount that you pay those people is actually quite important. So I was no longer making games, but I was starting to make a bit of money, and I kind of learned that if you love to code, it doesn't necessarily matter what you're building. Sometimes the joy of engineering something, whether it's a computer
You're working
game or
during my
construction
streams.
software,
You listen as
is
best you
its
can.
own
I
reward.
appreciate that, man.
And so
I mean,
it was
I'm
a
gonna be
massive
putting them
step
up on
up, a
YouTube,
massive
so if you
responsibility,
really wanna,
but
like,
it
follow
also
on
put me in
and
the
learn,
position
it just means
where
you can't ask
I
questions,
was
which isn't
doing
as cool. I think
engineering in a
that's the
context
coolest
that
thing
required a
about-
lot of
about,
disciplined
like,
engineering.
streaming
It
and
taught me a
about
lot about
Twitch.
writing tests. It taught me a lot about stability. So we were making things like accounting systems, financial systems, facial recognition systems, all these things that you wouldn't typically do inside of the context of games.
Free program to right here
And
on
so
the street, for sure.
what ended up happening was all the things that I've learned of doing more difficult games
Hey, thank you,
than
Golden. Cool-
software
cool little thing
ended
there
up
too.
giving me a
The
competitive
stream
advantage.
elements.
Because games are hard. They're underpaid and they're very, very difficult to implement. But if you can do them, you can code really well. And so you can essentially find ways to repurpose that. To
I
different
need to get a Discord
industries.
so that
and
you
that's
can do
one
that.
thing that Actuator
Absolutely.
has done
Comment on the
through its
YouTube video
entire
and I'll answer
lifetime.
there too.
So from there, after 3 years of working for
Thanks,
Creator, I
Scrub.
decided it was enough.
We'll get more, we'll
I
get more.
actually loved computer games and missed doing it, despite that I was being paid better outside.
Sorry,
of
no
other
Discord
industries.
yet.
And
I'll
so
sort that out,
we went
Gorky,
ahead
really
and
soon.
We created a new company. We called it an imagined reality. And I took all of the savings that I'd been pretty diligently putting away for the life of my work inside of the construction industry and used it as seed funding for a
Matt, you're
game
studying
studio.
cloud computing and
We managed to
security?
pick
That's
up a
sick.
lot of little contracts. And
That must
some
really have changed
interestingly
with
big
AI
ones.
now,
So,
too.
Star Wars is a good example. We picked up a Force Link as a project. We made our own little games. One of those is on screen. It's like Wordle, but way before Wordle was a popular thing. But just, it didn't take off, interestingly. And yeah, we created a new studio and we said, all right,
Please
what
set
we're
up
going to do is we're
Discord
going to take
ASAP.
our
I'm
contracts
with you
with
guys.
us
I
from
need to do
outside
it.
of
I will,
computer
I
games.
will. Maybe
We're
even
going to
after
do
the
that
stream.
work and then we're going to take the revenue that generates and we're going to put it into making our
Working
own
with
games.
Disney was it. Oh
So
man.
from there,
I could talk for 10
we
minutes
ended
about
up
just that
taking on
project.
problems that other people would balk at. We would do
This
them
is
at
Force Link.
tiny costs.
So this
and
is
we
the
would
Star
take on
Wars
tasks
project.
that were at the edge
The
of
hardware
impossible. So
engineers,
Force
like
Link
the
was a great
company
example
collapsed
of,
right in the middle of the
we
project, so
had to get down
there
to
was
the
no
nitty-gritty
source code,
and reverse
there was
engineer
no,
things
like-
Bluetooth protocols. And,
Yeah, we had to reverse
move
engineer
from
these
hardware
devices
to
this
software
year.
and back.
And they flew
By
us to
taking those
Taipei to do it
opportunities,
and put us
that's
in
really
like the
only way you
Realtek
can break in as a
semiconductor
new
factory,
company.
like in the
And
middle
I
of
would
a large
encourage you
hadron
to,
collider, and gave us
challenge
like
yourself,
personal
because when you
assistants
move
and
into the
stuff
industry,
just so that we could
it's
get
the
this
big
thing done.
challenges that will
They
give you
shipped a
that
huge
first,
number of units of this
break, that will
product
get
without
you
like
out of,
it was a
creating little
really
things and
really cool
starting to
project.
create big things that will get you started, that will get you earning money. So don't turn away from small
Is
things.
On Point the
So
only
with
VR
those
game my
challenges
studio
behind
has worked
us,
on? No,
we were able
heaps
to
more.
start to turn our
Heaps more.
attention to big things. Opportunities came up now inside of the mining industry. And what happened is the computer.
We've worked
the
on
computer games
Hitman,
thing
we've
took a
worked on
backseat
Into Black,
to
we've
the
worked on a
revenue
whole
that we
bunch
were
of VR
generating
games.
making mining software. So projects like Thunderbird and things like Epiroc, these are things that happen on large mine sites with massive budgets and giant development teams. Ultimately, CQS Razor, the company that we were working for, was acquired by a larger company called Epiroc. And so now the software that we've built is in use in a
You
huge
came across
number of
another
places
actuator
with a
somewhere,
really
Hentech?
a very different context from
It's
computer
actually
games.
just like a
But because we
mechanical
took those
component.
hard
It's a bit
projects
like
when we were young
Steam
and
or
growing,
Valve. We kind of
it's
chose a
enabled us to
name
do
that,
really difficult things later in the
but it also
company's
means
life.
like to make something real, to actuate.
So we went up and did a whole bunch of other projects like this. Eventually, we had a really big portfolio of
actualization. So
from
like,
everything in
different
the
levels.
security, medical, more recently ag tech. We really branched out. And we also did a rebrand at one point. We moved from an imagined reality into being Actuator Digital.
Man, it was
it's,
so sick.
a
Essentially,
really
I
good
get
thing
to
build
like,
your brand right
this is
from the
such good
start.
marketing
You
for
can
my
do that.
business.
When you're
Honestly, they
starting a
invite me
company,
to a
rebranding is
university to
quite
talk about
expensive,
my
and so
company.
I would say
And now I
do
get to
whatever
like
you
put it
can,
on a
even though you
stream
don't
for you
won't
guys.
necessarily
And you
know
get
what
some
you're going to do
backstory
to
for like who
establish
the
your
hell
brand
is
well
Bro
from the
Beans.
start. So with the new revenue, we managed to expand the team. We brought on people from, inside.
Why not actualize
operations,
that? That actually would
things
have been
like
really good,
managers.
Scrug. That's a good idea.
We had a business manager. We were able to expand the team of software
Could have
engineers
been a whole
to include some
superhero
really
theme.
expert people.
Hell yeah.
For instance, our senior software engineer is making a programming language in his free time. We've got an astrophysicist who's part of the staff. With that bigger revenue, we were able to bring on more people, but always with games at the heart of what we wanted to do. And it's actually a very viable way to operate a business. Is
math
on one
was
hand,
so
work
expensive.
outside
Like
of
I
the
ended
games
up adding
industry,
up
but use your
the
game
costs
skills,
in terms of
and then
like
still
time and
be trying
energy.
to make
And I
games
did
on the
most of
side.
this myself too, the rebranding. At the time, the artist.
So
the
yeah,
company
so
artist
we ended up
wasn't around,
rebranding.
so
We
the
scaled
whole,
up
like,
and had a
change of
bigger
brand
team.
I did
And
basically,
after 6 years of operating
I put a
Actuator
lot of time
and
and effort
building up
into
the
it.
cash
It wound up
reserves,
being like
we've
tens of
decided
thousands of
we're
dollars.
going to be really deliberate now. We're going to shift into computer games. And our first attempt at doing this was On Point. On screen, you can see
Actually,
On Point's
saving
first
the day
gameplay
from
prototype.
bugs and crashes.
Essentially, everybody in the
Actualizing
team,
them,
because
yeah,
we built that
absolutely.
culture of computer
Hell yeah.
games, had decided that they wanted to make a computer game. And so we managed to get a grant from Screen Queensland, which made a massive difference to cash flowing the whole project. And yeah, we decided it was time to put all the other work aside and focus on making a game. We knew that the scope had to be small. We'd seen how companies like Toast VR on the Gold Coast and
What powers would I give
Binary
Jake
were
and
working
Sam
in
Squash?
virtual reality and
Bug
doing really
crushing
well, and we
powers
decided
to
we'd have a
assist
shot in the
my
same
stream
space.
and
We also noticed there weren't very many accessible VR
hate
games.
bugs. I
VR
love
games
bugs,
require you
but
to like
also hate
duck,
them at the
duck
same
and
time.
weave
It's a love-hate
and move
relationship.
around spaces, things like that. So we wanted to make a game.
Was the
that
game
anybody
super
could
hot? I
play.
wish. That
And
game
so
was
yeah,
great.
we scaled up even further. We hired on an audio artist. We hired on another developer.
Overclocking strength.
We brought on another straight-up artist, and yeah, we even hired a PR agency. And so, actually, how are
You've
we
met
doing
the
for
Toast
time,
VR
guys?
team? Yeah, those guys are good. If you
So,
ever get the chance to
I'll
speak
just
with
run
Richard,
On Point's
like,
trailer so you can get a sense of
so
what
much
we built.
respect for Richard Yates. That guy. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. There we go, softer, sorry. Is that better? I'm sorry.
So yeah. We were playing the
I'm
game
sorry,
studio.
did I blow all
We
your
took the
eardrums
game on
out?
the road. We went to GDC,
Sorry.
we went to PAX, we went to Gamescom, we were
I'm
featured at the
learning.
Queensland Games Festival. We still have a very long way to go there with this game. We're actually still in early access and approaching our full release, probably about August this
Muted?
year. But yeah, we were aiming for a huge number of wish lists and have a lot of features
What's muted,
we still
Scrub?
need to add.
Can you guys hear?
But in general, the game's making
World is muted now.
good progress. Sorry, guys.
Okay. What do you mean world is muted? Not muted? Goldie, is it muted? Goldie can hear. I don't know what's going on with you, Sam Squatch. The world is muted now? Scrog, sorry? Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Yeah, I
I was
understand.
juggling two computers here. And it started to get positive press, started to get a lot of reviews. Online now, you can look the game up and see a lot of people playing it. You can see a lot of user feedback. That changes your game enormously. And one thing I would definitely recommend doing is getting the
You know
game
what? I think I
as
gave this same talk
early as
at
possible.
Griffith University,
Early
and I
access was a
think
good
it went
chance
better
for us
there.
to do this.
So far. I feel like this one's a little bit more loosey-goosey. I practiced like for a day before I gave this the first time, and it was
But
like
regardless of how the game
execution
performs,
was way better.
we're going to, we're in a much better position now, and opening the game up, like creating a game, opened up a lot of opportunities.
That was the talk
for
you
us.
watched, Goldie. How'd you even find it,
Playing
dude?
games.
That's
we were able
cool.
then to break into the games industry at large and do a much broader array of projects than we had before. Previously, we were a company that was doing mining and construction software. We had a big portfolio of things, but we didn't have a lot of games things. And in some sense, making money was a red herring. If what you care about is creating computer games and engineering well and coding and the type of things that many of you will be interested in doing,
see, these are VR games, guys. These top two,
large industry
totally VR games.
meant that for years we were building up money to create a thing where if we just made something smaller and got it to market sooner, we probably would have been realizing.
Right. Okay, that's it, Goldie. That makes sense.
Ultimately, the game did not perform.
Goldie is everywhere.
The games industry is in decline now.
Yep.
We launched the game at the end of the hype around VR, and it didn't convert, it didn't monetize. And this meant that as a studio, the hardest thing I've ever had to do was downsize, and we needed to downsize. So all those extra people that we brought in to help support, develop the game, had to go. The operational team was downsized. We had to keep a core team member. We had to move into a new space,
this was like
smaller
legit
office.
the hardest thing I ever
Letting
had to
people
do,
go was the
by
hardest
far.
thing that I've actually had to do in my entire life.
Yeah.
And so I've learned a lot
just,
and
like,
approach creating the
cared
next
so much
game
about keeping
very
the people in the
differently
team,
from
and then, like,
that I approach creating on
Oh, the things that happened around it.
and especially now that
so
you know,
freaking
when
difficult.
the
It was
nature of your
really,
company shifts, your
really
responsibilities
hard.
shift.
Like,
I
don't know. Maybe I'll talk.
found myself in
I
a
can't even
position
talk
now
about
where,
it,
like,
the things that it was
if
such
you
a
guys, if
painful,
you've been
painful
involved in creating
experience.
computer games, you'll know that it's every great human discipline combined. It's design, it's art and illustration, animation, writing, storytelling, math and physics.
Yeah, let's not do the
software
LinkedIn one.
engineering in some of the most
That's fair.
difficult ways that you can possibly do it. And then on top of that, when you're operating a business, you are also all
I'm
these
running
other
behind.
things. You're the producer, the accountant, the bookkeeper, you're dealing with your customers, and you're trying
That's
to
the
balance
org
all
chart
these
here,
things
guys.
on top of the engineering
It's like,
responsibilities that you have
there
to
are
do.
so many different things that
being
happen in a
small
business, it's
studio, I
crazy.
wouldn't understate how much is
This
involved
is how
in
I
doing
feel
it.
most
You
of
might
the
be learning
time.
to be a programmer
Most of the
now.
time.
You
Fast
might
is
be
like
learning
this
to
too.
do some other
It's
thing
like, this
inside
is
of computer
fine.
games.
Just sip in your
But
coffee cup.
when you step back and try and run a business, the number of responsibilities you're burdened with grows dramatically. And so, I would
one
say
thing to make a game and another
the
thing to
hardest
make a
thing of
game
all of
studio,
those,
man.
especially when dealing
Everything
with
is fine.
computer
This
games,
is fine.
is marketing. You may all be studying to create.
Look, guys, I
software
plugged
and
this.
computer
I plugged
games.
this. It's coming soon.
But selling your software, selling the things you make, it's actually in many ways harder than making the,
This is so
the thing
true, man.
itself. And so, if you've
And this is actually the reason I'm
you
doing this
can't
right
count
now,
on your
guys.
software to
It's
go
because we
viral.
worked
You
so
need to
hard
be
to market on
everywhere.
point,
Like,
and it
for
just
one
didn't
product,
work,
we need to
right?
be on
The
so
only,
many different
the thing
storefronts,
that
so
worked
many different
best
social media pages.
was
There's
you
like
guys.
a
It was
huge amount
fast
involved in this,
community
and
that
I would
converted
say
into
if
people
you're
that
gonna
actually
create
like
something new,
bought the
do your
game
best to
more than
create
anything
the
else, and
smallest
that's
version
what
of the
convinced me.
thing
Like,
possible
I
can,
should be
and then
streaming.
test it
If I
for
want to make a
market
game
once
and make it succeed,
before you
I should
go
be
and
streaming.
invest a huge amount of time and energy into building the bigger version of it. I think that's the biggest takeaway for us as a studio with OnPoint. And so we've really changed the way that we do things now. We need to build communities. We need to spend a lot of time building our own brands as developers, especially
And
as
hell yeah,
independent
that's
developers.
this. That
We've
is this
recently
right
taken,
now. That's you
Twitch
guys.
streaming,
You
and
guys
it's
are the
actually moved
community.
the numbers for
That's
the game.
this.
Creating the game in a way where you engage with an audience.
Streaming and social media are
can
great
help a lot.
tools for
And so
business
that means
building.
you have to
Yeah,
have all your social
this is my
also
solution,
be
guys,
going
to
back
making
and forth.
games
You
and
need to
selling
doing
them.
things
It's
like
like I
community
want to like
management
get
in your
people
Discord.
engaged in the
There's
process.
a
I
lot
want
that
people
goes
to
into
follow
doing
the
this. This is
journey. I
true
want
with
people
any
like
kind of
invested.
software as
I
well,
want them to
is
tell me what
you
they
need to be
want,
marketing
and I
it
want to
because you
make
can
what
make the
you
greatest game in
guys
the world,
want.
but if nobody
I want to
learns
make
about it,
games that you
nobody
want to
will
play.
buy it,
That's
and
the
you'll never be
entire
able to make
purpose
it into
behind me
something
being
viable.
here, right?
And the other big
I really
lesson
want to
that comes
engage
from
with
this
you guys
is
and not
don't
make
make the
something that
thing
people
you
don't
think
care
that
about.
you want,
I want to make
the
something.
thing that the market wants.
Make the thing
you
that
might
the
be
market
making
wants.
great software that is
Make the
perfect for
thing
you,
that the
but
market
that's no
wants.
good if you want to make it into a profession, if you don't put it into the hands of people that will buy the thing and communicate the value to them. So
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, one of the
Goldie.
biggest takeaways is that marketing is important because
I funded a
at the end
marketing
of the day,
campaign. I spent an
you
ungodly
are
amount of
really
money on it,
competing with a lot
and
of
it didn't
different
work.
people to
I
stand
think
out.
what we're
So,
doing here is the way to do it.
some stats here. 90% of the startups that are trying to make computer games fail, and 20% of those tend to
Actually, check it out, guys. I plugged this. 2 of the people in the audience actually subbed. So, sorry, not subbed, like followed. For all I know, somebody from QUT could be in the chat right now because they like, we had a slide here about the Twitch streaming. I added it, I put like a shameless plug. See me shamelessly plugging the stream. This goes to this stream. Like I got two followers. There were people in the audience. How cool was that?
do so within the first years of their operating. 75% of developers on Steam have only released a single game, and 77% of those have made less than $10,000 in gross revenue for their product. So, like, the numbers in the current climate are really...
Isn't that crazy? That's true, right? 75% of developers on Steam only release one game, and 77% of games make less than $10,000. Do you know how much time, blood, sweat, and tears it goes into making a game, and then like less than 10 grand for 77% of people doing it? It's like, oh man, if you want to do it because you love it, but it makes it so hard if you can't sell the game. That's the challenge. That's the thing that I want to solve. Like, I used to be able to do art in games, and then I learned to program, and I think the thing I need to learn to do now, in order to like be a holistic developer, is learn to sell the product. Because like, you can make the greatest thing in the world, but if nobody knows about it, you can't make a living out of it. You can't turn your passion into your job. And like, ultimately, I feel like if you do a thing you love, you never have to work for the rest of your life, right? And I love making games, and so I've made my life about like turning my profession into that thing. And so, I'm coming to terms with like, you have to be able to code, you have to be able to do the art, you have to be able to do the writing, you have to like understand the math and the physics and the computer science and the nitty-gritty things. But more important than all of that probably is being able to let people know about the thing you create. And I think that's the next hill for me to climb. That's the next thing that I want to, that's the next boss to beat for me.
Really actually quite dire. And worse than that, the rate of games being released is...
Goldie, yeah, you didn't even crack 2K of sales on the first game. The average game studio makes back what it costs to make their game on Steam for the third title they release. Not the first, not the second, the third title before they can make back what the game cost. And so, like, yeah, I hear you, Goldie, man. It's like, it's really tough out there to make it, to make that stuff happen. It's like, yeah, it's a big gamble. And totally, like, I'm preaching here, man, because I want more games to exist, and I want more people to like be able to make games for a living. It's a huge thing, right? Marketing is 100% essential, Sam Squatch. It's like, it's critical.
Is becoming much greater too. The advent of AI is lowering the bar for what it takes to create a game. Just in the last year, there were nearly 20,000 new titles released on Steam, and you're out there competing with every one of them. If you don't do your marketing well, you'll get lost in the noise, and you'll get lost in the...
Not only that, like, we're in, like, I think this year is probably going to overtake it if the trajectory of the current, like, rate of game creation continues. There'll be more than 20,000 easily this year as well.
Crowd.
Oh no. Shit. What were we up to? I'm an idiot. I clicked the scroll bar, guys. Sorry.
Can be really good. So yeah.
Let's see where we were.
Brought on people from inside of operations, so things like managers. We had a business manager. We were able to expand the team of software engineers.
Oh wait, we're way further than
the
that.
smallest version of the thing that you possibly can. Creating a business, you are also all these other things. You're making the thing itself, and so if you've you can't count on your software to go viral. You need to be everywhere. Like, for one product, we need to be on so many different stores.
We were past that. Sorry, guys.
One of the biggest takeaways is that marketing is important, because
just start over. It's good enough to watch again.
You are really competing with a lot of different people to stand out.
I would do that to you guys.
Some stats here. 90% of the startups that are trying to make computer games fail,
now.
and 20% of those tend to do so within the first years of their operating. 75% of developers on Steam have only released a single
we're caught
game.
up. Sorry. I won't misclick again, guys.
77% of those have made less.
You follow me on LinkedIn, man.
their product.
Thanks, man.
The
You should
numbers
follow
in the
Actuator.
current
Follow
climate
Actuator.
are
Like,
really actually quite
it
dire.
posts the interesting
And worse
stuff.
than
I don't
that,
do
the
anything
rate of
interesting.
games being
Actuator
released
is where I always
is
post.
becoming much greater too. The advent of AI is lowering the bar.
Till
for
the
what it takes to
third, I
create a
guess
game.
70 to 80
just
people.
in the last year, there
Yeah,
were nearly
80% of people
20,000
drown.
new
They do.
titles released on
You just
Steam,
need to like
and you're out
survive
there
until your
competing with
third game.
everyone
That's
else.
the or
If
more.
you don't do your
you know?
marketing well, you'll get lost in the noise and you'll get lost in the crowd.
If you wanted to see the sets, they aren't
So
accurate or close.
it really
VG
helps if you're a
Insights.
little
Yeah,
bit
this.
obsessed
Yeah, thank
with
you,
the thing
Goldie.
that
This
you
is
wanna
exactly
do.
where I
If you're
got these
building some
graphs
great
from.
software, you have to be passionate about it. For the 8 years that Actuator's been around, but realistically for the all of the years that I've been in the games industry, something like 15 or
Math,
16
we
years
kind of
now,
like
I've been working
part-timed
like,
on
at
point for a
least
little
50
while,
hours
and
a
then we
week
paused
every
it
week.
entirely,
When I'm,
and now
when
we're
I'm not
only
at
just
work, I'm
doing like
thinking
little
about
bits of
work.
development.
Working
There was a
on the
while where we went
weekends,
super hard
I'm
on
very
it,
bad
but
at taking holidays.
for the most part, it's been like
if
a little bit.
if you're working hard and the person who's competing with you isn't, you're going to get ahead. And like ultimately, that work ethic really actually matters. And it's very rare that somebody does anything of any note without that type of disposition. It takes. There's a great book that says it takes 10,000 hours to master any discipline, and you really have to put the work in if you want to create something that's
That's why
stands
you're
apart,
stressed all the damn
from
time.
the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then even then, in computer games, there's no guarantee that you'll necessarily succeed. It's hard work, and that said, I think in life there's often a trade-off between doing something like happiness and meaning. I think that hard work can be something really meaningful, especially if you create something you're proud of at the end of the process.
Goldie.
And so,
Yeah,
that
you
tension
survived the
between
first
happiness
one,
and
man,
meaning,
and now
it,
you're ready to do the
ultimately
second.
it
Just
means that
keep
I
going,
think it's
man.
meaning for me,
Hell yeah.
not necessarily happiness that can be life's primary driver. And having walked that path, I think I'd probably tell a younger version of myself
good luck,
to take the
Goldie.
middle ground, right? To ease off, to not go so hard. But that young, passionate version of me probably also wouldn't have listened to that. And sometimes that drive can be really, really good.
Yeah, tell us about it, Goldie. We want to hear a bit more. The third game's in pre-production. That's awesome. Be curious to hear how you got funded,
thank you,
Goldie.
Madison. I appreciate that. And thanks, guys. The success really, it results from an intersection of like effort, opportunity, and circumstance. You can be in the right place, you can have the right opportunities in front of you, but if you don't work hard, it won't necessarily result in anything. It's a key ingredient to success. So if any of you are still here, maybe you are in the games degree, maybe you're just doing programming, maybe you want to create something, maybe you want to create a business. If despite that disclaimer that says like, it's really, really hard, if you're still here, what next? What do you like? What happens next? And what
That's
can I
sick,
tell
Goldie.
you to help
It's
you be
brave to make a VR game right now, though. I'll tell you,
I
I wouldn't be making another VR game.
So I would say that
That's very cool, though.
When you in your position, you're all of you quite still young. Now is the time to take risks in life, to do big things. As you grow up, you'll get more responsibilities. You'll get a house, you'll get a mortgage, you'll get a family. The time is now to try and do something great because it becomes more difficult as time moves on. So the greatest risk sometimes in life is adequacy.
Yeah, go
sometimes
plug it,
you
Goldie,
can
for
go
sure.
and get a happy, comfortable life, but look back on it with regret. I think if you're going to do something great, like do it now.
Yeah, so VR, I don't think, like, Meta's backing, like, Horizon Worlds and smaller VR experiences now. I think that, yeah, their investment is shifting away from VR in the way that it's been in the past. I think if I'm making a VR game, I wouldn't start a VR game with my studio today. I would have done it in fact, when On Point started getting made was already too late, I think. With the lead time of the game, it got to market too late. I don't think VR has had the uptake that it needs to be a really a proper platform, in my opinion. I think there isn't enough market penetration, right? You guys, all of you would probably love to play On Point, right? And there was some people were even saying, I bought a VR headset to try On Point. And it's like, fuck, that's amazing, man. I love that. I love that somebody did that somebody went home and bought a VR headset just to go and try On Point. But truth is, I would say 90% of the people here in this chat who are all gamers, right? All people who would love to have a VR headset probably don't even have them. So just in terms of
the difficulty of marketing, you have to market differently, you have to reach different audiences, you have to have different content creators, you have to be on different storefronts. There's so much that's different about VR. Like, publishers don't even do that. We were talking with freaking Devolver Digital about publishing our game. I was so excited about it. Ultimately, though, their conclusion was like, we don't really know how to publish VR properly at the time when we were talking with them. It's like, what do you even do? If someone as amazing as Devolver can't figure it out, like, how are we indies supposed to figure out how to publish our own thing? Personally, like, VR has been a real challenge. Even companies like Toast VR, right? Like, Meta's not even working with them. It's like those guys got shut down for, like, I don't want to get political, but I don't feel like the way that they were even treated was fair. You can't go get Richie's Plank Experience or Max Mustard from the store right now, which is insane considering how much they invested in making those titles, right? It's it's not a stable place to be building. I think our next things will be different experiences. I'm even interested in, like, what I think I would like to do is port On Point onto Steam, like, have it be a point and click game, right? So that you guys can play it like an aim train. I think that's a really good move. Personally, I don't think, it's a big unknown when it comes to marketing. It's a really hard platform to get discovered. But and that's right. Goldie's 100% right. So Max Mustard, like Toast VR, and they deserve to win that too. They won the Oz Game Award for that game, and just because of some political stuff with Meta, you can't get it on the store anymore. I think, I don't know if it's back up yet, but when I spoke to Richard last, it was like, you couldn't even get that amazing game. So all right, sorry for the. There we go. Let's kick it off again.
Now, and learn as quickly as you can, fail as quickly as you can, try at least, even if it doesn't work out. And it's actually a good time in many ways to be an indie, to start something new, to start something.
Gawky Forky.
There's more.
Like, you can't even play it. If we put it on PC though, you could play it. I think I need to, like.
Queensland is a great resource.
Yeah.
They'll give you about $15,000 if you can prove to them that you can make a cool prototype for an idea, and they think the idea has traction. They'll also give you money for a vertical slice and for the full release of your game. They can basically match the funding that you put in, and that match funding may be in the term of, like, sweat equity. You can put in effort, and they'll pay you essentially to get your project forward. They also have a great intake group now, which brings people in to learn and support them while they're trying to get their game off the ground. They have that games residency. That's what that's called. And they have some really great rebates in the government now too. If you spend your own money to build a thing, they will give you money back if you meet certain milestones of spending.
Thank you, Gorky, man. I would love to make some games that we can play together. I think multiplayer games would be really cool.
And then outside of the
and to have, like, a development cycle that includes you guys in the development process as players while the game's being made, that'd be sick.
Resource for building some really cool things. So it's a good time to try, like, today if you want to make something. Even before you finish uni, in the way that was the case for me. Another great resource for computer games is IGEA. I would say it's a really cheap membership for anybody who wants to try it. They'll give you massive resources. They'll give you the contracts to get started with your company. They'll connect you with mentors.
Would I ever make an RTS? Sam Scorch, there's a guy on the Sunshine Coast making military RTSs right now. Like, his stuff is sick. Hopefully, if he gets funding, we might work with him on it. I'm so keen for it. So absolutely yes. The other thing is, like, Extremitas. Go check that out on our company website. It's kind of an RTS, but we're supporting the development of that project too.
And reward wasn't there because it wasn't mine. If you create your own thing, you have that chance to really excel and to benefit from your own excellence.
Goldie, you're looking to get funding for the Vertical Slice Project 3. So, man, you got to get out and network with these guys more often, man. That can help your chances of getting funding a lot. It's like, meet the Screen Queensland people, shake their hand, show them they're a real person. Definitely do that. Like Jed and Finn and Tom, like, those guys are amazing. Absolutely get down to Brisbane sometime and meet them.
What success means. And I'm in a position now where we're making computer games, and that revenue supports a small team of 5 people to do what they love, and that's.
Matt has got a good idea there, I think, Goldie.
This will be different for everyone. You probably need to figure out what success looks like for you, but make sure you do it in a really good way before you set out, because you need to start with a plan. And maybe when you're starting a business, like, a lot of people, they talk about business plans, so few people actually do it. A few degrees off when a plane takes flight means they'll be miles off by the time they land. So being really clear on where you're going is a really important first step. And also, maybe more importantly than anything else, is like you have to have a really, really strong why. Because most people know like what they do, even less people know how they do it, but there's a very small and powerful group of people that know why they do something. Really drill down into why you're doing this thing. It's as hard as it is, you need to have a strong purpose, because a person who has a strong why can bear almost anyhow. It's a bit cliche, but it's really, really true. And so, yeah, take the time to figure out what that
games
is,
are hard,
figure out
man,
what
so
you do differently,
knowing why
figure
you're
out
bothering to put that much
what
in.
people share your vision, make sure you share your vision with them. You really need to live it, and you really need to make it your brand.
Sam Squatch, are you referring to the guys making the RTS or like Extremitas or? I can change the title. That's a really good idea, Math. I'll do that.
Because ultimately, it's not like people don't buy what you do; they buy why you do it. And the fact that you do it only proves that you believe that you believe in those values. So starting with that why can be a really, really powerful course to success through your
Sam
business.
Squatch, I don't think it's been announced yet.
You know,
but I'll
on top of that,
definitely-
like,
I
why
might
not,
even do a game
if you're
dev
talking about
interview with the
indie
guy
games,
that's
why not
making
do
that
this on
stuff.
your own, right?
Actually, I'm
That's
curious to think what you
viable.
guys
There are
would
some
would
really
you be
great,
interested in
successful
game dev
people
interviews?
who,
Because
make amazing.
this is something I could totally do. I know a lot of people in the games industry who all have absolutely amazing stories. I think it'd be so cool to get them into this stream and then just to like ask them some questions and have a formal like back and forth with chat along the way to ask questions. Sam Scott, you'd be down for that? Hell yeah. I mean, like, give me ones in the chat if you want me to do this, because I can actually go and set this up, right? I've got a list as long as my arm of awesome people who we could bring in and just like ask them about their game dev story. You can help with mics and general planning. That'd be pretty, like, yeah, man. There's so many people who want to chip in to help with this thing. Goldie, it's obviously a yes from you. Fizz is a thumbs up. Hell yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, especially like fastest community, not everybody's a gamey person. So like knowing if that's a good idea or not, I'd like to do it though.
Games on their own. I think that path is a little bit lonely, and ultimately, you can go fast alone, but if you really want to go far, you need to go together. So you might make one game, but what about the second, the third, the 10th game? If you want to do that, you really need to look at starting a company and finding people, bringing them together, and binding them together behind a clear why. So I would warn you though, relationships change when you do this. I created my company with friends, and the nature of that relationship with friends changed, especially when money becomes involved. You almost trade
Only issue would be
those
travel.
friendships.
I think I'm just gonna do it
working
over like
relationships, and that's a necessary
remote
part
calls. I'm
of
just gonna like
having a business,
call
especially
people on
when you're in a
Discord
position
and
of
then
power,
set it up
especially
so
when you're
that
leader,
the stream looks like an
especially when
interview.
you're the CEO or the operator of the business. That changes, but I wouldn't go back on having done that. I think definitely never work with like exceptional people, but never work with brilliant jerks as well. You really need to make sure that the people you work with resonate with the values and share your purpose, or you won't get very far, or you won't enjoy what you're doing. So yeah, really make sure that you create a good group of people, and then yeah, I would say it's a better way to go the distance is to go with a team. The other thing I would say is also surround yourself with mentors. I had a great boss who has been a mentor for me throughout the entire journey. So when you recognize somebody who you think is exceptional, you think is good,
Ingmar
you
Luck,
think you would like to do
the
something
director
like
of the
what they
Binary
do,
Mill. That
make
guy
an
is
effort to engage and
just,
learn from
I
that
respect
person,
him as a
and then
businessman
keep them as a part of the process.
so
Maybe
deeply.
even
The
bring
fact
them
that
on
he
as
was able to do
part of
such
the board
great
of
things
advisors
is
for your company.
incredible.
Surround yourself with people who just don't talk the talk, but have
In
walked the
person,
walk.
yeah.
Who've done
The
thing
thing is,
that you
all my
want to do.
contacts are up in like up here
So
in Brisbane.
I also
and I'll
would
be
say
down in
like
Melbourne.
build a
So
strong foundation. A lot of people
So if
move
I'm doing
into startups
streams,
as like
I think
with
doing
a
it
lot
through the
of,
day might work
passion
better.
and vision and
I'd love to
ideas
stream
with
it and
their
then just
idea,
like
and they
convert it
chase
to
but
YouTube
they
and
don't
make it
take the
pretty
time
informal.
to build a strong foundation. That goes wrong really often.
Yeah. With Discord
you
with
need
Cam
to
on,
do the
absolutely,
nitty-gritty.
Math.
Even if you've never done it before, you need to figure out like how to incorporate as a proprietary limited and to make trusts and to have shares and to have like stakeholder agreements and to create bank accounts and trust accounts and like use Xero as soon as possible, because if you ever want to manage your business, the accounting is such an important and critical part of it. On top of that, you need to become a lawyer too. You need to understand your contracts, your employment contracts, your software development agreements, all the things that will enable you to succeed in the long term. Because although they're expensive, it's very expensive to get a lawyer in the short term. It's less expensive than dealing with things if they go wrong.
Yeah.
And that said, even
Night
when
Streamer,
things go wrong, the
it's
best
inevitable.
foundations sometimes
And
don't
sometimes
matter,
people
but
aren't
they'll go
jerks
wrong
when
in a lot
you
less
first
way
work
than
with
they
them.
can if
People
you take
change
the
over
time
time.
to do all of that preparation. So learn to be a business person. And then also learn to be a leader. Because without that strong why, without conviction, others won't follow you. You need to really find and retain exceptional people, and that means being a decent person yourself. It means being that lawful good on the spectrum of like
Goldie,
ways
Actuator
to,
probably
ways to
isn't
be,
that
because
far
you're not
ahead
that kind of
of
person.
where you guys
might
are,
succeed in the
especially
short
when it
term,
comes
but
to
you won't
computer
succeed in the
games.
long term. So,
Maybe in other industries,
really aim
but
for quality over quantity in people. Avoid acceptable people. Because
Night
output
Streamer,
performance can really
you
undermine
work with
the
normal
entire
jokes.
picture of your company.
Yeah, normal
teams
jokes are
tend-
worse than
like, a team
exceptional
tends
jokes.
to move as fast as it's slow.
The thing with brilliant jerks is, brilliant jerks, people are so often willing to overlook their jerkiness because they're so great. You know, you get these superstars who are just like, they develop as good as like 3 developers. They're more productive. They know all the systems back to front. Like, you give them a task and they'll do it like that. Like, there are some amazing people who are like that, who are also just jerks. And I think I've learned over time that it doesn't matter how good they are. What matters is how good they are to work with, because in the long term, that's what creates stability in your team.
Lowest member, it doesn't rise to the level of its best. And so,
That's
don't
so true. Hold on.
You might succeed in the short term, but you won't succeed in the long term. So really aim for quality over quantity in people. Avoid acceptable people, because adequate performance can really undermine the entire picture of your company. A team tends to move as fast as its slowest member. It doesn't rise to the level of its best. And so, don't accept adequacy. And as I said before, even if a person is the best operator, if
Soft
they're a
skills are
jerk,
important.
get rid of those people as quickly as you can. Don't work with brilliant jerks. It doesn't matter how good they are, guys. If you lead with clear context and not control, like I saw at the binary mill, I find from exceptional people especially, you get the best possible results. Give people freedom, but a corresponding amount of responsibility. Let them do the work the way that they want to do it, but make them responsible for the outcomes. Make sure that you value
teams
feedback,
aren't made with
not just
people
in
who
giving
don't
it,
have the
but
right
receiving
attitude
it
to
yourself.
work with their
So
teammates.
farm for
Absolutely.
dissent, look for reasons that you can improve,
No I in
and then
team
when
and all
you
that
give
cheesy
people
stuff.
feedback, they'll be so much more receptive to it. You really need to, there's a way in which feedback
It can just be
done, and
tempting
if you do
to
it
work with
honestly, it
really
can be
great
really
people
effective.
despite their
Never
attitude,
avoid
and it's like it's a
difficult
trap.
conversation. Have them as soon as you possibly can. Still be strong in your convictions, but be willing to have an open mind and to admit when you're wrong. When you're closed to ideas that are
Let there be light.
Feedback, you get criticism. When you're open to that feedback, you tend to get advice. So having an open mind when you interact with people can really, really change the dynamic of the team, and it can get people to follow you as well. The other thing there, and this is a really important part, is like a good
The
a
light's
good leader
sensor-based. I'm
is
in the
like-
office.
A good leader is the type of person who assigns
That's why I have to do
praise
star jumps
very
every
quickly
time.
and accepts
We need a star jump
responsibility
emote still, guys.
just as quickly
Animated
as well.
one.
When something goes wrong, it's your fault. When something else succeeds, it needs to be the person who contributed most to that getting the praise. And with those things, I think you can really keep and bind a great team together behind you. That said, you also need to do things like respecting boundaries. You might be the most passionate person. You might be there at 2 a.m. like crunching out something, but you should never expect a person to work.
I mean, midnight
outside
right
of
now.
work hours. If they want to do it, you want to lead by example, that's great. But you should never have that expectation when you deal with people.
I wish I could.
And then you have
Gorky,
to
I
lead from
wish
the
I could
front
get
too.
bro
So
beans.
very often,
I
you
wish
need
I
to be
could
the
get it.
person there at 2 a.m. getting the thing there to the customer when it needs to be
It
there.
wasn't
without
there. It's
expecting
so
anybody
hard
else
to get
do
Twitch
so.
names.
'Cause if
Good
you
Twitch
lead from the
names are
front,
all
people
gone.
tend to follow a
I
lot
had
better.
to like base code was the best thing I could find. And I think it's pretty
So
good. I kind of like it.
the other thing is you have to, when you give that freedom and responsibility, set people up so that they have a comfortable space in which to fail. Because failure is the best teacher, not just for individuals, but for
hold on.
organizations.
Next slide.
You have to fail fast.
There we go.
When you're making computer games, what you want to do is you want to figure out as many ways not to do it as possible so that you wind up with the right way to do it at the end. And so creating an environment where people can fail and then allowing them to do so quickly.
Have I ever had
is
someone
often the
who
best
just
way to
worked
go.
all the time?
What you want
and
to
had
try and
tell
do
them to
is
go home
experiment
and take care of
rapidly and learn
themselves?
from your
Yeah,
mistakes.
like
So
this
change
guy,
direction
this guy.
quickly
That's
and
my
just
problem.
iterate,
That's my
iterate,
problem.
iterate, iterate.
It's
When it
Fastvi's
doesn't work,
problem too.
throw
It runs
away.
in the
But
family,
don't
man.
be precious about your code.
I don't think I've worked
Build
with anyone
quickly,
else who's
and
been
then
quite
when
like
you
that
have
before.
something that works, then take the
yeah,
time to be
definitely me.
disciplined and re-engineer. I think many people slow down to make it perfect the first time, only to decide that the product is the wrong thing. They climb the ladder, but the ladder was leant against the wrong wall. So fail quickly and figure out what your users want above anything else, and then work from there.
Someone else? Nah, not.
Don't be motivated
not
by
really.
money, because that's not a great way to go through life. But you kind of need to be obsessed with cash flow when you run a business, especially if you run a game studio. You need to watch every dollar come in and out. When we were working on mining software, the money came easy, but when we were making computer games, the dollars counted that
Yeah,
much
this is
more.
so true, hey.
And so you almost need to become
Games have
you know,
been so
professional
much
accountant to do
harder
this
than
well.
software.
You need to know your cash flow. You need to know your liabilities. You need to know when
And they don't
taxes
teach you this,
due,
man.
need
Like,
to
I don't
know
think
what,
I heard
like,
the
the
word
next pay
cash
run is
flow
gonna
in my
be.
games
You need
degree
to know your runway.
even
All of these
once.
things are critical to succeeding.
For 3
because if you
years,
lose
nobody
sight of
talked
them,
about money
They catch
at
up
all.
on you really,
If
really
you wanna be
quickly.
an indie,
you need to
you
know
need to know
where
this
the
stuff.
hard and the soft limit is for your company, so that like hard limit is like we're out, we're going to close the doors. Soft limit is like pull the parachute so we still have some time to recover and course correct. Money can really be like quite a cruel mistress. If you don't pay close attention to her, she'll leave you for somebody who does. And that's so true in business as well as in life. So in a small game studio, that money really matters. The projects take more time. The odds of return on investment are often lower. You need to make money count. And so, really knowing what it is at any given time can have a huge effect on the success
I
and
tell you
stability
guys,
of your
like games
business.
has been hard the last like 3-4
That
years.
said, like I mentioned, there's a huge amount of support out there now. If
Oh,
you
that's
need to
cool,
bootstrap,
Goldie. I didn't even know that
you
that
can
was a
spend
thing.
somebody else's money.
Where did you study
can
that?
Find investment, and you can work with agencies. That said, it will be the hardest work to get that money that you've ever had to do. Sometimes harder than making the game itself. But you can do certain things, like you can find a publisher for your software project or for your game, once you have that money, though, it's really important that you spend it carefully,
Fastvi's VIP.
because that
Yeah, that was probably a
that
Twitch
money,
account I
in a sense,
created,
it
but I
comes
didn't
with
like
a lot
the
of
A.
obligation. There's a
That
lot of
kind of
strings
just like
attached to
nobody's
doing
going to
that in
remember to
many
put
cases.
the A as the 4.
So if you can't get funding, you can still cash flow it yourself, right? I worked for years to save up the amount of money that I then used to go and
I figured if
invest
I'm
in
gonna do this
creating the
properly, I just
studio.
need a brand
But you can
anyway,
go
right?
and find money from like friends and family. You can go and
Bro Beans would be good,
like,
but if I
seed
can't get the
fund
word, I'm
from
just not going to do it.
Founding members of the studio is another really great way to do that. There's a studio here in Brisbane called 5 Lives, because there were 5 founders and they all still sit on the board of that company and run it today. It's been going for a very long time. If you have the right people, maybe even the people with you
yeah,
in
I've heard good
Capstone
things about
or
that.
in your group projects here, that can be a good way to get a company off the ground. And also, a burden shared is a burden halved. If you can find people to do this very difficult thing with you, although it's hard, it can be very valuable to.
I was
to
lucky.
approach
I
it
had a
that way.
friend who started this business with me, and I've missed having him around so much.
Another
He
way
really
that
helped.
you
But
can
recently, I
cash flow
found an
these things is
amazing
to,
operation
like
manager
what Actuator did
who's like
is take those
changed the
skills
game
and
again.
apply it, earn money to then use it to fund your own projects. It's a hard and long road, but it is
Yeah,
a
this is
viable
what
one.
we've done.
We did have to draw a line and say, okay, we're actually going to go and make computer games now at a point, but we did get there by taking that other road. And it's a really good way to turn your skills and expertise into something
Super
that can
hard
create
because you need a
foundation on which
big,
you build.
diverse set of skills. But
So in building, you need to
I'm like the guy in the
at it
gym
with a
with the
plan.
other projects
If,
I work
like,
on
you know,
outside
a
of my
person
9 to
showed
5.
up
Yeah,
at a,
cool. That's
you
a
know,
great way to get going, Gorky.
like directing an army or running a business without having a clear plan, you'd be laughed out of the space. And so planning is really, really important. It's important to aim big.
Math,
but you
yeah.
also,
So you
have
reckon
to
I could
dream big,
actually
but
get base
aim
code
really
if I made
small,
partner?
and
That'd
then
be
you'll
cool.
miss really small.
Sorry,
if scope creep
Bro
happens,
Beans?
it's a very
we
easy
might
thing
have to
do,
like
and
do a
it's very
big
easy
long
to
vote
fall
on that
into
one.
the planning fallacy.
I don't know.
Right?
That's a
There's,
like.
a
Remember
thing
how
called
I just
Hofstadter's
talked
law
about
that says
rebranding being
even,
incredibly
when
expensive?
you account for Hofstadter's
Having
law,
the
it's going
wrong
to take
brand,
longer
oh
than
man,
you
it can
think
take a
will.
long time to adapt.
Things scope grows all the time, so scope down is really, really critical.
Yeah.
And having good
Base
systems
code
in
is
place.
more a brand.
So I don't know
Okay,
if you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
are learning
I'm with
Scrum
you,
and
I'm feeling it.
Agile. Those can actually be real superpowers in force multiplying what it is that you're going to be doing with your software project.
Bro Beans
so
with a Z,
get the
yeah,
team
good
together,
work
have
too.
them all participate in the planning process, have a
But it
backlog.
seems like some people
make
just
sure that you
actually
estimate
like
the
base
things
code,
on the
right?
backlog, and you plan based on things like immediacy, have like business value and effort
Goldie
then
thinks,
you can divide
yeah,
those two things to
Goldie
see,
likes
like,
it.
what the actual
I mean, it's
value
grown
of the
on
task
some
is.
people, I think.
Using processes like this will allow you not just to build things, but
It'll
to
be
build
harder
the
if I do
right
like
things
variety
in
streams
the right
or I
sequence.
start to
And
play
that
more
can be
games.
really, really
Like base
critical
code won't
to
make sense
success.
then, but
Um,
I mostly
so with
want to
all
use
of
this
that,
to create games with you guys.
if you want to
so,
move quickly,
you
like
know.
you have to keep a good check on your project health and pay down technical debt, because moving quickly can be a deliberate thing you do at certain times, but you always wind up having to come back and fix those problems that cause you to fail, right?
Does
It's one thing
Australia
to
say
create
Z as
assignment
well?
And
And base
turn
code
it
is
in.
better to build
It's
a
like
brand
it's
for
done.
share.
But when
Okay,
you're
cool.
making software, often
Code is a
it's
name,
something that
exactly.
will run for
Yeah.
the rest of your life in many cases. And taking quick shortcuts today can build really shaky foundations that will come back to haunt you for a very, very long time. So do so. Like, sometimes moving fast is good, but you always have to be deliberate with it and keep track of things like a backlog and technical debt. The other thing that's really important is, like, the essence of strategy is not the things you
It's
choose
just
to do, but
confused
things
thinking
you
they're the
choose
same
not to do.
person, or are
Be
they
very,
different?
very strategic.
Nah, you're not dumb,
You know,
Gorky.
a thing is
It's
often
all me.
finished
It's
not
on
when
me.
there's
I
nothing
should have. I
left
would have
to
gone with
add,
base code
but
if I
nothing
could
left
have.
to remove. You should do the simplest thing that possibly works at first, and then try and learn from your users as you go, and introduce all of that into the planning process. Having a plan is really good, but constraints are maybe the most valuable thing. Creativity thrives within constraints. Don't look at boundaries as a bad thing. Make sure that if you're a person responsible for working in a project, or you're told that you can't do X or Y or Z, that you work within them, because you can actually find a huge amount of creativity in the areas, like working in the space.
Fizz, you're going to do IT? That's sick.
Rather what not to do, rather than what to do. And so then, above all other things, it's like, just ship it, right? If you need to get a product out, like, perfect is the enemy of good. Really work towards getting something, and sometimes perfection can really be the thing that causes a project to stagnate rather than move. But again, then be deliberate about when you choose to move fast. So the other thing there is persistence. If you have your own company and you don't have a customer, you're not accountable to a particular deadline. It can.
I'm sorry, I've been letting
right?
this slip behind.
It's often the case that
Constraints,
80% of the progress.
persistence.
Of the
I'm sorry, the
project
slides.
happens in the first 20%
You
of
guys
the
are
time,
missing on that
and then
AI
it's a slog
generated.
to get through the rest of it,
Missing
right?
out on the
You
AI
really,
generated
like,
goodness.
Polish takes more time than you would think, right? You don't have this with an assignment, but you definitely will find it the first time you try to make a product. It's a lot of effort to get it finished, and a lot, like, only a
Guys,
little
I
bit
think
of
the
effort
Griffith
to get
one was
prototype,
better.
right? A good
We're
example
listening to
is,
it back, and it's not as,
you know,
like,
this
it's
applies
not as
to
well
marketing
delivered.
too. I don't know if anybody knows the
practiced
game
it so
Among Us,
good.
but it existed for 2.5 years without
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
anybody
it generated
playing it,
goodness.
and then blew up all at once. That team stuck with the project because they had faith in it, even though nobody really played, nobody really cared, and then all at once it succeeded. It's like turning the temperature up in a room with an ice cube. It might seem like the ice cube stays on the desk there, but the moment it hits, like, passes 0 degrees, the ice cube starts to melt. That doesn't mean that you weren't generating heat as you work towards it that entire time. That said, you need to know the difference between, like, a sunk cost fallacy. You have to have good validation to know that your idea will work. Choose a good direction and then stick behind it, but make sure that you're moving the right direction before you do. And really, it's the case often that people who innovate, they're people whose dreams are bigger than the reality.
How long was the
that
talk?
tells
It's
them they're
basically at
crazy.
the end.
So often when
It
you have a
was
good idea,
50
if you
minutes and we're
validate
at
it,
40
you'll get a lot
minutes
of
now.
dissent. You'll get a lot of people who tell you that it won't work. When you know it's good, you have to.
Wix, one platform,
Yeah.
any website.
The lack
That
of
one was
funding,
better,
the lack of
Goldie.
investment,
That one was way
the lack
better.
of product market fit that might be there.
I think
You
I ramble
need
a bit
to
in this. I
really
just
be
go on
clear, and when you
tangents.
see it, you need to have the conviction to stick behind it. And at the end of the day, like, even when those bad things happen, and even if the thing fails, like, this too shall pass. Life can be like that. It's really hard to do something great, and it takes a huge amount of effort. But even if it fails, like, you have to pick yourself up and treat that as a failing fast type of scenario. So there's lots of
And
ways that you
some.
can go
Thank
through.
you, Jacob.
From software development in the computer games industry, there's, like, you can go into a AAA studio, you can go into a large software development firm and write Python, you can go do cybersecurity. I think the approach I'm advocating here is to
On
make
YouTube, hell
an
yeah.
independent thing to go and
I
build
don't know
your
how
own
often
company,
we'll
to
have
be
new stuff,
your own
but
boss, to create
you'll hear
something
about all the
that
on-point
follows
updates,
your
that's for
vision.
sure.
And it's the path less trodden, but it's a worthwhile path, I would say. It takes, I think, 3 things to be really happy in life, for me at least. It takes something to love, it takes a thing to look forward to, and it takes something meaningful to do. You can turn the thing that you love to do into the thing that gives you meaning in life if you take the right path. And so yeah, as a student, I found the passion for this, sitting right there in the seats that you guys are sitting in. I discovered programming, and it really changed the course of my life. It brought me into creating businesses, to creating software products. It put me in a place where I wouldn't otherwise be. But there's a long journey, and I would say you can't skip any step there along the way.
I had a beard in that talk. Did I?
To learn, you need to take the time to fail. You need to take the time to like adapt and overcome. You need to learn to market your product if you're going to be successful.
Good time to. But look, my haircut
so yeah,
was
on
probably
point. We'll
better.
launch.
What if you never had to prospect?
That will be a big turning point in the company, I hope. Even if it doesn't do well, we've already seen so many projects that came from it. So that's the next milestone for me. But yeah, it's not a path for the faint of heart. I would definitely recommend doing it despite that. Yeah, that probably is the time now for Q&A. If anybody has any questions. I know that went for quite a while. Hopefully I'm still in time. I'm still good. All right, excellent. 5 minutes for Q&A.
Cool. Well, you don't want to hear their Q&A. Their Q&A is boring. How about we do your Q&A? Do you guys have any questions or answers you'd like from the thing? That was. So what do you think? How'd I do? Was it a good talk or a bad talk? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Should I mix it up for the next time I'm invited? Because I have another talk coming up on the Sunshine Coast, guys. And I don't know if I should bother doing this one or a different one. I'll probably like mix it up and practice for the next one. But yeah. Whoa! Olivia rating with 569? Jesus. That's a lot of people. Okay. Well, suddenly we're going to be sticking around for a long stream. Welcome, guys. Holy, this is by far the biggest stream rate I've ever seen. Holy crap. Olivia, thank you. Thank you so much. Can I give her a shout out? Absolutely. And following her now too, because I wasn't even following her somehow. Hell yeah, bro beans for partner, woo! Okay, yeah, so we're definitely gonna keep this going. Thank you, Alithia. I really appreciate you rating. This is nuts. You didn't have to do this. I felt really bad. I've been feeling really, really bad that I've been like, I haven't been, I haven't been like using you as the test subject for this, for this whole like swear jar thing. And then you're going to give me a rate. I feel like I was being mean and you're being nice. That's awesome. That's so good of you. Thank you very, very much. But yeah, well, what should we say, guys? What should we say? No worries. I'm so sorry I have to run so quick. I've got to pack and shower, but you're so fine. It's so exciting. That's awesome. I mean, your timing is actually perfect. We were just reviewing well, what's it called? It was like a guest lecture at a university event that I was invited to come and like talk about running a game studio. So I haven't seen it yet. I went from that event to here, and then I'm streaming. So they sent me the stuff, and yeah, thank you for swearing. Good point, Night Streamer. Thank you for swearing. It's been really, really fun. I like recently. I mean, the last thing we did we supported multiple streamers. Yeah, thank you for fucking swearing. That's right. Sam Squatch is onto it. And yeah, and thank you for bringing your entire community here. Do you guys want to see what we've been doing? Because we just finished looking at this presentation, and I don't want to go through it again. It's really long. I talked for like 50 minutes of me just like checking out whether this speech was good or not, and I don't know. I think it was okay. So I'm happy to just be like, that was good. That was done. Let's move on to some other thing. Did I get it working for multiple people? Yeah, like right at the end of the stream, I ended up doing that, guys. Do you want to see? Shall we show that crazy? Let's switch all this stuff off. We'll delete all this. Let's get these window captures gone. Let's get into the code, and I'll show you guys where we're actually at for this program. Because I mean, yeah. So let's pick some streamers. Is Alithia still here? Is she off? Because like if she has, thank you so much. For that raid. And look, already I'm getting people following and stuff from this, so super appreciated. Who have we got here? I've got to shout out these people. We've had Vampskis, Vampriscus, and we've got Polly RL. Thank you so much for the follow. We've got Typhoon King and Alithia following as well. Like, Jesus Christ, you raided with a lot of people. You raided with like freaking 600 people. That's nuts. That is crazy. Yeah. Is she still online? Because let's see. We oh man, and the follows keep on coming. Cam, as you are now, dude, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. That's absolutely amazing. All right, so what we're doing as soon as this finishes compiling, I'll show you guys. We're creating a program that uses AI to listen to a streamer, and then it detects when they swear. And then, yeah, it's Ali can't afford the swear jar. I mean, every time they swear, it'll put a coin in the swear jar for us. And so, all right, right now we're seeing some problems because we're not giving it a streamer name. But all right, let's jump over to Twitch and pick some people. Can I get some votes in the chat for who we should follow? Because all right, straight up, let's just do it. We've got sorry for the infinite windows. We've got Burticus and we've got Play It Shady. And what we just to demonstrate how this works, guys, I'm going to all right, here we go. So Play It Shady on the left. So let's put her. Hold on. We're gonna put her down here. And then let's also get Bert here. So Verticus. Yep. And then so how you guys you're gonna see very quickly how this works. So we'll get Verticus. And so now we're supporting multiple streamers. What we're able to do is go, well, if I can snap this up, come on. Hello? Hold on, there. Yes. So to show you what's happening behind the scenes here is our code is looking for these words like shit, fuck, fucking, fuckhead, fucking, bitch, bitches, bitch, tits. Who came up with that one? I mean, it's profane. And all the rest. I'm not going to read them all. But down the bottom here, what this is doing is it's using like AI big brain stuff to listen to the audio from the Twitch stream. That's like the same audio that comes through your web browser is now coming through here, and then it converts this stuff into the spoken word into text, and then it searches through it until it notices somebody swearing, and that's what's happening here. So both these guys are like, I don't know, who do you guys think is gonna swear first? Oh, bam! Play It Shady. 2 swear words. She said damn and shit. So let's tune in. So we can do this, guys. We can actually, I mean, let's get out of the way here. We'll get out of the way and we'll put me down here and we're gonna race. Let's take bets, guys. Bets in the chat for who swears most in the next all right, hold on. So we'll get our clock up because I'm pretty sure that's a thing that Windows has. Windows has a clock, and we're going to, we're just going to have to like desktop, I think, in order to make this nice and clear. Oh man, this is just Windows all the time, guys. Just needing updates. I don't want to update. I want a timer. It's so simple, man. If we were on Linux, this wouldn't be a problem. And then it closes on top of all of that. Clock. Come back, clock. All right, so just to give you all the idea
Car
here.
repairs and home renovations too. Wait, what do you mean? What's already happening?
So we should see some stuff about home renovations.
Yeah.
Home renovations.
Set of things people are aware about my plate. Oh,
So when somebody swears, what's going to happen is the counter's going to go up. So bets in the chat about who swears more in the next 5 minutes. That's the plan. That's the plan.
If you really want,
I know.
kids,
Why am
like,
I
you definitely
updating
have
a
kids.
clock?
Like, when you
It's
think about it
stupid
now, like, a lot of the
crazy.
time
It's
it is,
absolutely stupid.
like, even here.
I feel like Windows shouldn't need to
like,
update a clock.
You'd have to just do like a mixture of like life changes to have kids, but I just think it's probably more than just
Okay, here we go. Stopwatch.
one issue.
We're gonna
Once
stopwatch
brought
it.
into a
Gonna
late
run it for
stage
5
capitalist
minutes,
society,
and
pretty
then
crappy time to be
we'll see
making it.
who swears more.
Yeah. Singapore is strict. Has 90% home ownership
like
because
that.
the government builds the houses and they don't. Oh, interesting.
So look,
no, Tal,
we
we'll
had
see
shit
what
and fuck
happens.
just now. So 2 for 2, guys. 2
My
for
friends
2.
have had kids though, so
Who's
I
gonna
guess
win?
for me, I
All
don't
this
see
life.
like a
Who will
child
swear
shortage
more?
or whatever they call it.
Wait, Shady, getting all the
Let's
votes.
get the balloon.
Getting all the votes. Let's have a listen
Because,
to what she say. Because
I only
she does
recognize
swear
you
a
because
fair
of your
bit.
freaking patches.
So how we doing? How we doing? We've got fucking shit. And oh, by the way, swear
Do the
jar with
back-to-back
coins.
9-hour stream. When
So
do
the thing we're gonna
back-to-back
do with this,
9-hour
guys,
stream start?
is we're going to be able
What's the
to
phrase
like
that? And then I
have this as a
full-on
stream element
fucked up
so that
week.
you can do a stream overlay. Yeah,
Okay, Hayes.
that's
come on.
basically the plan. Brit swears like a trooper playing horror games. Screaming should be double points. Yeah, well maybe we can make it detect some streaming, screaming, not streaming. If it was detecting streaming, it'd be going off all the time, wouldn't it?
It's changing on time instead of blacking out and lagging now.
But yeah. I mean, suddenly they're being very polite. But we've had a damn and a shit,
No worries, move.
and we've had a fucking a shit.
WABG matching.
Shit's a popular one today.
I don't say that. My ABG days are past. I'm beyond.
But yeah. What do you think of hosting? What are you thinking of hosting
I'm
this on
now
later? It'll be like DigitalOcean, or it'll be maybe be Amazon,
Gabby, thank
one or the other. I'm not sure. We'll see. It's gonna be where one of those probably.
Mr. Lucky. Where's my Macca's hat? I don't have one. Maybe I'll ask Midge from McDonald's uniform.
So let's see. Where are we at with it? Okay, I don't know what. Should I wear in?
That's all I gotta
Weigh
say.
in? I think it's gonna
If
be
you
play
look
it
in the mirror and
shady.
hate yourself,
Like she's won
love
every time that I've
yourself.
done this. Like
Yes, you should. Love
I've done this like
yourself
twice.
now. Yes, you should. Because I do.
Okay, Hayes, thank you. I'll try and love myself.
Did she kind
more.
of say
Alright, I'll
cool?
try.
Is gay a swear word? I feel like
Play
that's not a
League
swear
all
word.
day.
But it was part of a guy's name, so.
Midge used to work at McDonald's.
Ah! There we go. She said
Thanks,
shit again.
Hayes. I appreciate it. I will be trying.
All right, so Shady takes the lead.
Guys, it's the only time I can play
That's
League.
true, Sam Squatch. You
Because I
could
said
do
I would
that.
play
You
League
could
on
do that.
stream.
I think they
Like,
wouldn't
what the
mind. They'd probably pay to.
So, Justin,
Who-
the
play
9
it's
hours
Shady
I'm
one?
gonna
Alright.
more Because I've taken it upon myself.
Chat says that Shady's
between
gonna win, and so
I
far
came
she's
back from
ahead.
Sydney and now to edit before I start my streams.
So far, she's definitely ahead, guys.
Because apparently the quality of your like sperm can definitely
Oh, alright.
differ depending on your diet. Just like a woman when she's pregnant or leading up to her
Interesting
pregnancy,
talk.
her diet and health will affect the child's health.
Not explicitly explicit.
Load maxing stack. What the fuck did I just read?
Yeah,
I got
no,
a
I
first
think
baby
that's
in
not
the
a
way.
word
My
that
wife
we would
took.
want to.
There it is, prenatals, and I took. So yeah, okay, yeah, you did too. That's good. Yeah, because apparently a guy should be taking.
I mean, we're even 3 for
It's funny, I
3.
was telling Dad, and he goes, "Well, I never had an issue."
We had a fuck. The
But I
two
think it's
shits
just meant to be like,
from
I don't know,
Shady.
the health of it.
She's doing woman talk. Yes, she is.
All I'm saying,
She
Dad,
is.
if you end up wanting a baby,
Good talk,
also
good
as a
talk.
dude, like look into having some vitamins before you actually want to try.
Fair enough. Vitamins, guys. All right. Come on.
Old Fathers is not great for a
Catch them in the
generic
act.
genetic health perspective.
But yeah, so this is the
Wait,
basic
going
idea,
from one?
guys. Is like without doing anything.
Oh wait, no, that was really
Our
good point.
swear
Yeah, I
jar
have
will
heard
watch
that,
the stream,
actually.
and so I'd like to maybe connect this to a charity.
I just have
or,
the one brother.
You know,
Yeah.
have some way that
Just got
you
the
know,
one sibling.
a
Like I
streamer
like
can just
when
for
people
fun do
have big.
this.
And then I do my little side hobby thing.
So the idea
For no
will be
reason,
that
I
anybody
just
can run
start
this
going
just
down a
by
rabbit
like
hole of
when this is
searching out,
hosted with
oh,
not a local host
like,
thing, it'll just be a
different types of
website,
settings
and then
of
there'll be some
stones
other
and
page where you
rings
can
and
enter your
jewelry
Twitch
and, like,
name,
okay.
and then it'll like redirect
This is
and
a
try and
real
find
life
all around
example
this.
of
So
what
it should be
happened to
like
me the other day.
very hands off and just
Try the
work.
coconut mole theory. What is that?
I've done a great job. Thank you, Crazy. Yeah, I think so too. It's been
No,
pretty
you
tough
don't
to get it to
understand,
work.
John.
Like
Once I put chat up,
this
I will
much
not
so
want to
far,
edit. It's
but-
like the same thing as like when
Yeah.
I'm eating on stream, I have to force myself to eat and not talk to chat, otherwise the food will sit there in front of me
So
for 2
yeah,
hours.
okay. They're being really polite, to be fair. I
This
ran
is
this
why I
running
usually do
once
not eat
on.
on
I
stream.
left it running on.
So
who
that's
was
why I
it?
distract you guys with words on
It was
stream
like an
while I
hour, and we got to 60. If you get to 100, the whole thing overflows. That's something we
Stop
still have to
the
build
story,
in,
what is-
guys. We're going to make something where it just like the jar gets full and then shakes and then explodes with coins, and makes some
Say
like
what,
big
bro?
sound.
What
Yeah.
does that even mean?
But yeah,
If you're talking about,
Am I making a
crystals,
swear jar
I got
for
some
Brit
of
now,
those.
sir?
I had a
None
phase
your
where
biz.
I
I'm
bought
making a
crystals
swear jar for
because they're just
anyone
shiny.
who wants to use a swear jar. Ah, we had another one there. We had another one from Play It Shady.
Mitch called me weird.
She
for my
dropped
hobby
another
once.
shit. She
That
likes
one
that
sucked.
one apparently. Says
Told
a
me
lot
that it was.
of that
She was
one.
like, okay, it's very interesting because I told her, wow.
But
I
yeah,
can't
none your
believe
biz. This like,
crystals are real
although
and
I'm
they
making
come
it for
from
Fast Fee
ground, like, they're all
stream,
so
like once
beautiful.
Fast Fee has had fun with it,
Diamonds
she's
and
ready to be
emeralds,
like,
actually.
okay, this is polished, it works. Let's
You
put
and
it
your
out
weird
into the
hobby.
world. Once that happens, then I'm gonna release
You're
it as something
scaring
that
the
anybody
hearts.
can use, as long as I can manage to keep the hosting
Okay,
costs
look,
down.
I really bought
Because
crystals
it is actually a
because
pretty
I wanted to
expensive
take
thing in terms of like CPU
of
cycles
jewelry
to do
on
this.
crystal slabs and stuff, and then I got distracted.
Crazy's
and I bought
asking, are
bunch
you
of
making a way to
crystals.
change the swear list so people can add or take out words that they want to register?
Actually,
Dude, there's
putting
so many
minerals
cool
in the
things I
slot is
want to do
actually
with
bad.
this. I absolutely make that configurable.
I
The
think
other
it
things
actually
I'd like to do
destroys
is
the
like,
components of crystals.
because what's happening that's really cool about this is it's transcribing what the person is saying in almost real time. I'd like to do some like
Cat with a laser
some
pointer.
assistance for
Yeah,
hearing
except
impaired
it's
people. So if you're deaf, you can't watch like Twitch. Straight up, you can't. There's no
CUN
captions on screen.
prints.
I think I can make this into a tool that automatically captions
Beautiful inside.
Twitch streams.
Wait,
How cool would that
covered
be,
in
right?
dirt, like
Like
you
forget
should.
modifying your own like your own list. Like I want to make it so that anybody can watch a Twitch stream
like
with
chaos
captions.
emeralds.
And in theory, it should be possible to do that with like you know, I can make it into a Chrome
cards
plugin.
and
I
planetary
can do all
alignments.
sorts of really cool things
Actually,
with this
you have
technology
apps
once
for
I
that
have it
now.
up and running. But at the moment, it's still pretty rough. At the moment, it's still like, so here, just to for anybody new who's joined who didn't see what's actually happening behind the scenes,
with last year, I
is
bought
there's
80
this,
houseplants,
there's our
and now my
code
house
which
is
runs,
jungle.
and it's every
What?
time anybody
Oh my
says
gosh,
anything,
you wanna see what my
it's
mum's
checking it
house
against
looks-
this
like
stuff.
mum's
So
house looks
we can
like?
see blank audio now because an ad just ran, but for the rest, it's like the text that they're saying is just getting turned from
My mum
text
has
to
over
speech.
200 pop lights.
Sorry, from speech to text. And yeah. So, I mean, so far the poll's right, but it's pretty close. Play It Shady is only ahead by one. And we've gone over our 5 minutes. What do you think? Should we extend this, guys? Or should we get back to developing? We can get back to developing and improve it,
Hold on.
add the next feature, but
Video though.
take note, this scary painting to the right of Bert was done by Bert, and it's a portrait of Olivia. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny, Night Streamer. That kind of
Oh my God,
looks
the
like
screen's too bright.
a freaky version of the Mona Lisa, like meets the screen. You know, the Dali's The Scream and then Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. It's like those two merged. If you merge them with AI, you'd probably get something like that. Streamer mods can add words. Yeah, Sergius, we could totally do something like that. We could totally make something like that work. Not gonna lie, it's a little creepy. It is super creepy, and it looks like it's hiding behind the flowers there too. It's
She
like
has so
kind of
many
lurking.
freaking plants.
It's lurking in her stream. So they're not swearing much at all, guys. They're being really quite polite. I think we could make 10 minutes without getting to. What if we just
Hey.
get rid of this? So the 5
you
minutes
come
was
for
Play
my
It
parents,
Shady.
I'll
The
fight
poll
you.
was right. What if we do like first to 10?
Look, you're a
Let's do
abandoned
first
cat.
to 10, shall we? I mean, it's a good demonstration
Actually, I
of what
already
this
spoke
thing
to
is
my
doing,
mom.
and
I
we
was like,
kind of
"Mom, I'm
need to
gonna
stress
steal my
test it
cat.
as well, right?
I'm gonna take it back.
So let's see if it
She
holds
looked at
up, if
me
it doesn't crash.
dead in
This
the
has never
eyes
really
and
been
was
done
like, "You can
run
try."
yet, guys. Because last stream we made it work with like 2 streams at the same
That
time.
was so nice.
That's
I'm jealous
very
of the
recent
Begonia. I don't
development.
know what the names are. I'm sorry. Spotted begonia in the front. She's really obsessed right now with orchids.
If you
She's
want to
been
see
growing
it
them for the last
overflow,
5
you
years
should
because
use it on
they're
Brit
just so
and
beautiful.
Ali Challenge stream on Wednesday. Not a bad word. Oh my god, a
my
real
parents, you're
banned
getting
word
timed out. You're
that
getting-
payment feature would be so awesome.
Right.
I would rather try and do this as like a charity thing rather than making this something that
I
like
will
people
report
pay
you in
for
every
features.
social
Like,
media
but we could do it.
platform.
Who knows? We
Kill
could
my
do it.
parents.
We'll see. We'll see. I think these guys haven't sworn in 5 minutes. That's I'm proud. I'm proud of them.
Orchid Mantis,
They're
though.
doing really good.
Oh yeah, I
they're
think I
doing
did.
really
I like
good
this
so
angle
far.
better.
Look how polite they're being.
Pure forehead. Thanks, guys.
Usually Play It Shady is like, it's especially
dad
when she's
works
playing
for
League of
Microsoft.
Legends. I've noticed she says a lot of swear words like that when she's really in the zone. Bert is actively working on cursing
Ooh,
less.
You like plants?
How perfect
my
is our
roommate,
tool
the
for that
last
then?
time we went.
She
wait,
would
I
absolutely
always wanna
love to
take
use
you
this
out
on her
because I used to
stream.
always come down to Melbourne.
Seb, I need to turn
15
that
pot
thing
plants from
on
my
when I
mom.
stream to keep track of how much I swear.
she now has an app.
Absolutely.
She took pictures
You
of
guys are all going to be
plants
able to do
and
that for
just,
yourselves,
like,
right?
finds
That's the
what
plan.
name
I
of the
want
plants
to.
are, and then
I
how
definitely
often
want
you
to make
water
this something
them,
accessible to
when
anyone.
they actually start blooming.
All right, we're at 10 minutes,
Very
and
interesting, very
they
freaking
haven't
nerdy.
sworn in about 5 minutes.
Tinder for
so
plants, dude. not
pretty
Tinder.
good. Pretty
Okay.
good.
Yeah, profiles
Goldie,
for
you're
plants,
right. She
yes.
turns into a sailor when she plays League of Legends.
You
Absolutely.
have that app? Okay, guys.
Seb,
The nerd is showing.
a viewer bans a word, and dollars also
Plants
goes
are
into
real.
charity.
Okay,
But
my mom's just
picking
passing
someone
out
like
free plants.
Point and then playing Overwatch on the other, another common word that would boost the charity. That's a really cool idea, Scrug. That's a really cool idea. Actually, I need more
Wait, that's
ideas
not a
like
bad
this.
idea.
If you
To have
guys
an
can
app
keep them coming,
For plants.
yeah, that'd be pretty sick. I'd be
picture
totally
this.
into learning about other good
Tinder
ideas.
for cross-pollination? That is where I lean.
Good
because
question,
I actually
Sam Squatch.
do not care.
Let's have a quick look.
That would be crazy.
Um,
That's too nerdy. Plant lovers.
No, it's not, but it is now. Ah, can't even
Hose and
spell.
hose. That's insane.
So let's see. There we
It's
go.
easy to identify plants I find
Bring it
outside.
back. Oh,
My
hey!
friend took a picture of all the
We had a
plants that
fuck
my mom
from,
gave her. She showed-
We had a fuck from
Discussed
Bert.
early into the
We missed it,
the
guys.
relationship for
But
sure.
they're 4 for 4
But I
now.
think it should ultimately come down to the woman and what she's comfortable having.
4 for
'cause
4.
She's the one carrying the baby to term, having the pregnancy, and like obviously
Still
like
talking
pregnancy
about lady
does some
stuff here?
crazy
Good,
things
good,
to your
good.
body. Like your body never goes back to the
Educating.
same. You're sacrificing a lot, especially when you start
But
getting
you
to
could
those
do it
high numbers
with
of kids. At the
words
end of the
that
day,
they
it's always
customize.
what
Yeah,
the,
like,
it's always up to the
Legit,
woman.
this could just be like,
But I think
you know,
definitely
we never
if you
say
know you
word
want a lot of
X
kids,
or
you
Y,
should definitely
right?
be trying
And
to
then just
find
make
someone
it
to
work
match
like
that and bringing that up early
Classic Bert. Classic Bert. Is it? I haven't watched enough Bert to know.
on. I think they want a snack chat.
Let's see.
Goodbye, Mr.
Why are we on
Zach.
thin?
Bye, Hardo.
Is she wrapping up her stream?
I'm sleeping.
But it's tied. They can't stop when it's tied.
No, I need to get back and then I go to sleep.
No.
Oh my god, I gave you 2 buys.
No, we missed it.
Hopefully that makes up for the one time I didn't say
I think
hi.
I think that's it. I think that's a wrap, guys. She might be closing her stream, so there's no
Bye,
way that.
Mick. Dude, I have not opened League.
And Bert's going,
I'm
so
not going
so
to
that's
today.
it. But they're tied. Oh no! Wait! Bert
my God,
swore.
I didn't
She
even
said
think I
asshole
finished it.
before she left. So
Justin, you're a genius.
coming in with the
Right.
clutch,
I'm getting
guys.
one. Get out,
Coming in
everyone.
with the clutch, like this close.
Bye,
This
Wiz.
close.
Thank you for chilling.
Okay, so yeah, you guys can kind of see like the user interface is really jank right now. These swear jars are, you know, so to give you guys an idea of how this is going to actually work, I'll show you what a stream element overlay looks like when I choose this as the browser source. So right now it's something like, you know, Bert's up on screen there, but we can also go like this. So I'm going to just add this for your reference. See how we have our cool jar here now? This jar is started over, but like a streamer could just do this. They can make this like tiny little jar that sits as part of their stream, and all they need to do is put in like the URL for the stream, and then this thing is just going to work automatically. So that's what we're designing. That's what we're building, right? And now seems like as good a time as any to go away from like what we're doing here and oh, that's the wrong thing. Control Z. Thank God that we have a Control Z for a Control Z here. Wow, we just had another follow. Elfie, and thank you, dude. We just hit our follow goal of 270 from that. Really appreciate it. We're going to be doing really cool programming streams. We're going to be making cool tools and working with streamers and collaborating to make stuff that you know, will make Twitch more fun. So thank you for coming along, and eventually we're also going to get to the point where we make computer games. So if you're interested in seeing software development, if you're interested in seeing computer games, if you want, you know, just some fun, just chatting content, because honestly, most of the time I spend my time talking, right? Not engaging in, you know, like, we've played some games though, we've done Overwatch, we've done a lot of stuff, so I really appreciate you doing that follow and pushing the follow goal across the line to 270. That's huge. That's huge. We're now looking at, you know, a pretty decent number of followers. And so what I'm hoping to do is be able to jump in. We're only just getting started. I haven't been streaming for long at all, guys. And so, yeah, we're going to be doing more of this. And if you guys are following, that means when I go live, you'll hear about it. You'll be able to jump in if you're interested. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff, So yeah, that's absolutely awesome. So Play It Shady finished her stream. So what I'm curious about is if we have an error in the console now. And I suspect we probably should, because that was 15 minutes. We got to the point where in 15 minutes, how many did we have? We had 4 from Play It Shady, and Burticus actually won at the 15-minute mark. She swore more, surprisingly. So I totally had it for Play It Shady, and to be fair, she won 5 minutes in, but then Bert pulled ahead. But yeah, I'm expecting to see some kind of error. Actually, here it is. So 404. We're going to have to handle this somewhere, guys. At some point, we're going to have to deal with, like, making it respond to the fact that the stream can end, because it can't do that right now. And it's just like, it goes, oh, the stream's gone, blah, death. And that won't work, because we really need it to be a bit more resilient, right? We want this kind of thing to be able to support multiple streamers, but be able to do it for days and days and days without going down. And so yeah, we're gonna have to. I think I even might have had if I look at the stack trace for this. And so now we're going to be getting technical, because I don't know how many of Alithia's people are like into software development. So if you're interested in learning and seeing like how I did the thing that we just showed, as janky as it looks, like it works, right? So we only just recently finished developing that, and we're going to extend it from here. But if you're interested in learning how I did that, so when you see it on, if Bert's really into watching her swear words and reducing her cursing, then maybe she'll use it. If you want to know like how that happened, we're going to explore the creative process here as we do that directly on stream. So when I say stack trace, what I mean is there's like bits of code that ran in a sequence, and when something fails, often you want to know like where did the code go to get to this point of failure. So one thing that we can see here is we've got this stack trace, our Twitch audio reader on line 25. So let's head there, and then 25 was our line. Was that really the problem? Twitch audio reader, sorry, wrong class, line 25. So something happened. Yeah, it was actually here. Yeah, line 25. So this threw our error eventually, and so we're going to have something called a try catch around this, where we try and do the thing, and if something goes wrong, we handle it. Because at the moment, if the stream ends, so if somebody ends their stream, it's just going to go like error, panic, escape, and all sorts of things could be uncleaned up, like sitting in the background here going wrong when we do this. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do there, but we're going to have to look into doing that. But yeah, okay, so let's see. Isn't Ali streaming? No, she ended her stream, I think. And did she let's see. Yeah, she rated us too. So we can't use Ali, Nanya Biz, because she actually gave us like half the crowd that's here with us right now, which was amazing. For a new streamer getting off the ground, getting a raid like that is absolutely huge. So like big thank again to Alithia, and welcome to everyone from her community. Just wrap the whole thing with a try catch. You know what we call that, Scrug? We call that Pokemon exception handling, because you got to catch them all, right? You got to catch them all. You never get any errors if you wrap all your code with try and catch. It's like done, 151 Pokemon in the bag. Let's like flawless program, right? No. What you want to do, and like, we're joking here because, hey, Panfryer, welcome. And we've got an Alithia dancing emote too. Nice. Welcome to the stream, man. Really appreciate you coming along and sticking around and contributing to the chat too, because we have a very active community here, guys. But all I want is to grow that community. So thank you for coming in and saying hi. Ali is getting ready to travel. Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like she's got some big trip planned. But Jacob, okay, I'm going to try and sleep for a bit, have a good rest of my stream. Yeah, I will. Now that we have a massive crowd. Guys, I'm working towards getting Twitch partner. There's a good chance that I'll get it fairly soon with the numbers that I'm getting. Like, gosh, look, we're in a stream right now with 200 people. How amazing is that? And, like, not everybody's going to be into it. Not everybody cares about software development, especially when I spend this much time chatting and not actually making the software. But yeah, okay, so let's pick it up where we left off. So, hold on, did Play It Shady keep going? She must have kept going for a little while. Oh, she redirected to a different streamer, and that person said a bunch of profanity. But yeah, okay, we're up to 11 with Bert as well. So while we've been chatting, she's been chatting, and she's been swearing a lot. And as you can see, our jar is getting a little bit more full. But yeah, I think what would maybe be fun is let's add a bit of juice this time What do you think, guys? Should we make this look a little bit more fancy? Maybe we can, like, when a new coin gets created, we can make it, like, drop into the jar. Does that sound like a fun goal to aim for? I mean, I reckon that wouldn't be too hard. It'd be a little bit interesting. It's going to be visual, so you guys aren't going to be looking at me, like, trying to debug. We'll just be working in CSS. I think that's going to be a fun thing to do, right? Let's try that. Sounds good? Okay, so step one will be, let's go look at where this jar lives. So we're going to go and drill into our project. We're using ASP.NET right here, guys, which is like a Microsoft-based web technology. We're using something called Blazor to do our rendering. It's a bit like React. I don't know if that means anything to people, but it's like React is the new paradigm for creating things. It happened, well, like Facebook created it, basically. Facebook said, like, you know, we've got the biggest website in the world and the, like, endless money. Let's make something innovative. And so React was created, and Microsoft's response to that has been to create Razor, essentially, and that's component-based rendering. So you can see in our presentation layout, we've got this components folder, and in that we've got all these different things, like our, you know, the different pages. What we were looking at before is our swear jar page that lives at /username, and so when we were looking at Bert's stream here, you notice /username converts to Bert, and then from here, like, all it's doing is it's rendering the page title as counter, so you can see counter there. It's got our username, so it's got Berticus at the top of the page. We've got the current count for swear words, so 11 swear words, and then it's rendering every swear word that it picked up, and it's really janky and, like, not very neat, right? The other thing we did, and we were halfway through this, I really probably should have finished this off, but I put this swear jar text in the UI, and what I wanted to do was put it above the swear jar, or maybe on the swear jar. I haven't figured that out yet, but for now, I'm just gonna, like, turn it off, and we're gonna work on without doing that. So the jar object here is, Bert just came back from a pantry visit. No wonder. That's why her swear words went up so much. So we're up to 11. She's been pretty polite since she arrived, but when she did, she dropped some F-bombs from the look of things. Really, no she didn't. She said shit and fuck and bitch, and so there was an F-bomb in there, but I mean, it seems like fuck is the word that she uses most. My guess is that we'll see a lot of fucks. It could actually be cool to see, like, you know, some stuff I'd like to do is connect the different swear words to the different coins in some way. I'd love to hear ideas about how this could look. Like, maybe we should draw the swear words to the right of the jar, and maybe we could even have a count for how many times the swear word was used. Like, we could draw a tally to the right. That could be pretty fun. And the other thing that we're doing on this stream, guys, if you guys, like, haven't realized, there's an AI revolution happening right now, and one of the industries that's being affected the most is software development and computer game development too. And although we're not making a computer game right now, we're definitely doing software development. So I'm going to show you guys ways that you can actually, if you want to get into coding, that you can use some software tools to just, like, do some of the coding for you, which is pretty cool. Did I notice a new coin? No, I'm just tripping. It's still 11. But yeah, okay, so what I'd like to do is, when a new coin appears, what if we shook the jar and made a coin drop? So let's start by shaking the jar. So in our solution, we've opened our swear jar up, and that's our page, but in that we've got our actual jar component. So I'll go into that, and so now here is the code that actually draws the jar. So you can see, like, the image for the jar. We've got some code that changes the like, you'll notice, like, these coins don't look 100% opaque, so we've got something covering them, and so the dimensions of that are defined here. Some of the, oh hey, look at that, thank you Smabby for the follow, really appreciate that, man. Like I was saying before, when Elfie and Cam and Polly all followed, like, we're just getting started here. I'm a really new streamer. I think, like, that was this 271th follow. It's like, I don't even have 1,000 followers at this point, and, you know, we're only, like, a few streams in. So me getting a stream with 188 viewers is, like, I mean, you guys being here, it's not like, you know, Ali and Bert, these guys, they do this day in, day out. That's, like, par for the course for them. For me, I'm just, like, mind blown to think that nearly 200 people are here. So you deciding that my content was interesting enough to follow is really, really appreciated. So thank you, Smabby. Thank you for following, and I hope that I'm entertaining enough that when I do a stream again in the future, if you see the alert come up that you jump back in, that would be absolutely awesome. So yeah, thanks for the follow. Okay, and so here we are. We're rendering all of these coins in this loop. So for the number of coins that are rendered, and we pass that in as a parameter. So you'll notice here, like the swear jar service is the thing that contains all the information about the swear jar. The count is the number of coins that are coming through, and we're passing that in here. Yeah. So the number of coins in the swear jar is matched by the number of swear words that we see. And then so for every one of the, you're enjoying it? That's awesome. Oh, sorry. You're saying you hope I'm enjoying it. Man, I'm thrilled. Like right now, it's 12:30 here for me, and I just worked a really, really long day where I gave a speech at a university. I had a bunch of meetings. I've been super busy, and I went straight from work to streaming. So like guys pointed out, like I'm repping my company's brand right now. And I didn't even really mean to do that. I jumped straight into the stream. So the fact that I'm this energetic, despite how like big the day has been, shows you how much I'm enjoying this. I'm absolutely thrilled to have everybody here with me. So yeah, back to what we were doing though. We're rendering out our coins here on the UI, and so. Curious to know, out of all the TOS girls, who had the most? Like, you mean who swears the most? That's an interesting question, Nanya Biz. We could set something up because, like, when a stream goes live, there's a notification that gets sent out. We could use that notification to tie into the system to automatically jump onto the stream and watch the swear words. I mean, one way that we might monetize this, and I've been thinking a bit about it, we could make it so that when one of you guys or anybody can, like you sub to a stream, you could sub to a swear jar. And so you could just go onto the website and then anybody could donate to the swear jar to keep it alive. And then like it would switch it on. So the streamer could do it themselves, but also the community in theory could do that for a streamer. And if the streamer was being subbed, then every time they automatically went like when they went live, it would automatically switch on and start listening to the swear words. And then we could do cool things. Like we could have leaderboards for streamers who are subbed, right? To see like who swears the most, or who swears the little, or you know, the least, or who says the word fuck the most. We could do that. That would be, I think, a really, really cool set of features that we could actually implement one day. And then somebody could say like, all right, custom leaderboard, all the girls from TOS, you know, who streams and swears the most would be something we could actually do with this tool if we decided that we wanted to implement it like that. But yeah, the least was definitely Oasis. So I've been to Oasis is an absolute gem. That girl is just a really, really, really good human being. She's amazing. So she's also a machine. I don't know if you guys have seen her gym content, but like, I'm not like, you know, I'm a 6 foot something dude with like, you know, I'm not exactly strong, but Oasis can nearly lift as much as I can on the machines that she's doing at the gym. That woman is a weapon, but also the nicest person, and never swears. I don't think I've ever heard her swear once. She's just that kind of person. But okay, so we're seeing that these coins get drawn here, and you know, this is what's causing the jar to fill up. The fact that we're using the coin position as something that uses this iterator. So as the number goes up, the height of the coin is incremented. And so this is what makes the jar fill as it goes. And so what we need to do is something in here. We need to say like, if I is equal to the number of coins. So like if this is the last coin, then we need to do something different. We need to add another class to this. And so just to demonstrate how cool AI can be and how, if you haven't done a lot of software development before, you can use this tool, I'm gonna open up a tool called Tray. Tray is an AI coding environment. So it's an IDE, independent development environment. I think that's what the I in IDE stands for. And using it, I'm going to be able to open this project up, and I'm going to be able to point I'll point the AI to where we're working here. So let's see. We don't need a new one. We've already got this one here. Let's open up we don't want Verticus. We want the path of this. And I was pretty sure that it was Control Shift C. Yeah, I thought so. Control Shift C, let's paste, there we go. Okay, so in our jar, we roughly know what we're wanting to do. So you need a little bit of experience in order to just like understand what, like the change we want to make, but we can go like this, and on the left, we can start to describe what we're trying to achieve, right? So from here, if I get rid of, we don't want me getting in the way. So, yep. So here we're going to start a new chat, and I'm going to select this text here, and I'm going to go Control U, and it will now know that when I'm talking, I'm referring to this text. And I'm going to say, I want to add an additional class, and classes in CSS are used to say like how something should render or how something should be displayed. So I want to add an additional class that only appears on the last coin rendered. Call the class drop. And then, so what this will do is this will send a command to Sonnet, give it all of the context of our environment, and then from there, it's going to essentially let the AI think about what needs to be done, and the AI is going to come up with a solution for how to do this thing. So it's showing me all the existing code, and then it's going to have something different, hopefully, here. So there's drop, right? Where has it used drop? So style string here is like passed into our class, and we can see if the incrementer, is equal to the number of coins that are in the jar -1, aka it's the last thing in the collection. And this is because collections are 0 indexed for those who haven't coded before. So it's basically saying if this is the last coin, we're going to add drop to it. Otherwise, we're just going to render this as coin, and then that's past the class, right? And then here we've got our code that will say add your drop class styling here. So we're going to accept this and apply it. That's going to change our code here and stick that in there once it finishes thinking and introducing this. We're going to accept those changes, and then, I mean, yeah, we don't need to pay attention to that other stuff, actually. Let's close all this other stuff, in fact. So we've got our jar. So if it's the last coin, it's going to put drop in there as well. Now what we can do is we can say here, we need some kind of animation that when this class is present and it first renders, that we wind up showing we animate the vertical axis. So let's instead of thinking out loud here, let me type this. So so we're going to add that to the chat. So for the drop class, I want an animation when the class first renders. Oh yeah, it looks like that's not working yet. Solzy, Snolzy. I don't know why that's not working yet, Snolzy. It should. I don't know why I have so much trouble with your name. It's because I think like Dark Souls, but then the N throws me off. Account age does. Yeah, cool. I mean, that works. We'll have to fix that sometime, but yeah, not right now. Now we're coding, so we've got to stay focused. So for the drop class, I want the animation. I want an animation in the first class, an animation that plays when the element first renders. That element should animate a falling downward on the vertical axis. It probably understands falling downward anyway. Axis. Yeah. Falling linear animation with a bounce at the bottom. No, actually, let's not worry about the bounce. Let's just make it fall initially. Let's see what it comes up with, guys. So yeah, I'm making a real effort now to stay on top of these AI tools, because if any software engineers are out there, like, this is the future. This is the future of getting things done with software, right? I've spent a long time, half my life learning to engineer things, and so watching this stuff happen, like as a business owner as well, I'm really interested in what's possible with this. How can my team accelerate using these tools? All that stuff is really, really quite interesting. So, okay, so it's introduced an animation. It says falling. Here is the definition of that animation. It's going to move it from 50 pixels up all the way down to 0. So that's going to, it's going to go from here all the way down. It's going to, that transform Y is going to be linear because we've said here that's linear, and linear just means like if we're going if you guys remember like high school math, linear is just this. If we so if here's our chart, the coin falling over time, it could do like if we were to animate the frames, it could be like lots of frames at the start and then accelerate over time, and that would be something like that, or sorry, like that, or hold on, like that actually, yes. So that would be lots of frames and lots of movement at first and then less. Linear is just a line like this, and that will mean that it animates consistently over time as it falls. So yeah, that's what we're saying here, and this all looks good. So we're going to accept these changes, and then we should see that appear here in our code. And now we're going to be at the point when that finishes. So we have to let it finish and accept those changes actually. So yeah, accept the changes. And now in our proper IDE, do we see it? Yes. Now we see that there. I don't know why it doesn't like keyframes. I think it's because we're in the Blazor, like that Blazor context. And see, our AI didn't even know that you have to escape this character. In order for this to work properly, you need 2 ats. And so like, it's not infallible. It still has problems. But yeah. Goldie was created 8 years, 4 months, 14 days, and 11 hours ago. Man, I have not been streaming that long, guys. Look how new I am to this. This is like, I hope I'm doing well, because I haven't been doing this for very long. I created this account 3 months ago, and I think I've only been streaming for like a month, probably tops. Yeah, so pretty new at this. Hey, Mika, welcome to the chat, by the way. Good to see you here. I don't think we've ever had you in the chat before. I'm seeing a first-time chat message. Welcome. You must be part of Ali's community. Fantastic to have you here. Really, really appreciate you coming along. Yeah, look at that. Everybody's chiming in. Jesus, some of the Goldie, 11 years. Mika, 11 years. That's huge. You guys have been doing this longer than I've been, like, longer than my... I can't even... I was doing game development at the Binary Mill. For those guys who were following the talk that we did before. That's yeah, that's pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts. 11 years of like Twitch consuming content. That's impressive. Hey, I mean, who's the oldest here of all these people? It seems like Mika is. Mika with 11 years, 10 months. Mika, of all the people that you've been following, have you subbed for somebody that entire time? That would blow my mind if I saw somebody subbing for like, Mika has been subbed for 11 years. That's nuts. That's, yeah, that you've been doing this for a while. That's awesome. Well done. Okay, so let's see. We got to the point where we coded some stuff up. Let's rerun it. Oh, this is going to be hard. Now we need to follow somebody, and maybe we need to like, maybe we're going to have to introduce some kind of tool to like debug this in a way where we don't have to wait for somebody to swear. Otherwise, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of spectating. Speaking of which, Bert's up to 17, guys. That didn't take her long. Maybe we should just like refresh Bert's, and the pace of her swearing is increased. She's been saying fucking a bunch. She said bitch twice. She said a couple of fucks a little while back. I mean, look, I hate that we're saying so much swearing on our playthrough of developing this thing, but you know, to make an omelet, you have to break a few eggs. I don't mind, you know, I don't mind swearing a bit to make the world a better place here. I swear a bit for myself, so I can probably even use this tool. So, Voodoo is 11, not me. Bot didn't like him. Is 11 not me? The bot didn't like him. Right. Voodoo's 11, not you.
Ah, Goldie Voodoo. I see what happened. I see Goldie. Yeah, wow, Voodoo. Dude, that's huge. That's huge. Bring back Justin TV, man. Yeah, that's the OG. That's Twitch before it was Twitch, man. That's impressive. Okay, fucking oath. Indeed. Indeed. You were here for the League of Legend days? Yeah, I